Start with man carrying things about World War III. World War III. I can't hear anything. Happy birthday, Side Beast.
Imagine a playground, and there's a bully that nobody likes. Okay. Iran.
No.
You didn't even. You got to let me finish.
The way you're saying it.
What, Iran? We need to normalize relations with Iran. We need to bomb Iran.
Does sound cooler.
Nobody wants this. Could I interest you in some cool footage of bombs exploding?
No.
What if I told you they're an existential threat?
Oh.
Weapons of mass destruction. Okay. Please?
No.
True. One more time.
Imagine a playground, and there's a bully that nobody likes. Okay. Iran.
No.
You didn't even. You got to let me finish.
The way you're saying it.
What, Iran? We need to normalize relations with Iran. We need to bomb Iran.
Does sound cooler.
Nobody wants this. Could I interest you in some cool footage of bombs exploding?
No.
What if I told you they're an existential threat?
Oh.
Weapons of mass destruction. Okay. Please?
No.
True. I'm tired. But won't save the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, hello, hello. We just finished watching this video about World War III potentially being on the horizon. And how, most of America ain't fighting in it, to be fair. To be honest, though, it's not going to stop America from starting a war if they so choose to. Wait, why is my live chat unavailable? On YouTube. Oh, no, there it is. I just have to refresh. Stand back and stand by. True. Stand back and stand by. Wait, Trump approved attack? Wait, is this new? 3 hour. Guess who's going to war tonight? Guess who's going to war tonight?
President Trump has approved plans for America to join Israel's attacks on Iran, but is said to still be making a final decision on whether to go ahead.
Bro, I think, to be honest, we all like to laugh at the liberal, or even not even just the liberal, but the neoliberal tech bro taco thing. But I genuinely think that has gotten into Trump's head, right? I genuinely think that is affecting his decision making. He doesn't want to seem as though he's, for lack of a better term, excuse my French, a bitch. And so now he's so wishy-washy, which actually makes him look like a bitch more often than not, right? And that he's going back and forth, and that he knows for a fact that it is unpopular to get into, or to stoke foreign conflict in general, but putting American troops at risk and pulling America into a war. He knows that that's unpopular, but he's also in the back of his mind, he's I did say I was going to strike them, but I did say maybe I was going to strike them. But if I don't strike them, people are going to say that, I'm not really about it. So I have to strike them. But I also don't really want to strike them because why are we getting involved in this? I don't really care. But also if I don't strike them, the people are going to say that I'm not about it. And this is what happens when you have a narcissist in office who's cares primarily and exclusively about how people view him and not about things in general. Not saying if it's not a narcissist, this wouldn't happen, right? Because I wouldn't necessarily call Joe Biden I would call Joe Biden a narcissist. Because he tried to stay in 2024. Because he thought that only he could beat Donald Trump. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, it's just this is just how about how he's viewed, right? He just doesn't want to be viewed as backing out. And so he's like, oh, we're going to strike them. Definitely. We're involved. And actually, we're actually not involved. This is all Israel. This is not us. We're just here for support. And actually, no, this isn't us at all, actually. Well, actually, no, we're going to get involved. We're going to strike them directly. But apparently he approved plans, but he's still deciding.
With that. Well, the BBC's US partner CBS News says it's been told by two sources that the US president is waiting to see if Tehran agrees to abandon its nuclear program.
Which they're not going to do. Like, at this point, just make a decision, right? For like the sake of the world, right? Just make it, just choose a thing. And they should not. I mean, obviously, the answer should be they should not strike Iran, right? But if you're going to strike Iran, just do it so they can just strike us back so we can go into war. You know what I mean? Like, what is this like will they, won't they thing? What are we doing here?
Speaking to
or,
CBS.
If there's any doubt in your mind, just, like, it's like, again, it's like a gun. If you have any doubt in your mind that you like, you're going to kill the wrong person, you shouldn't shoot them. Like, oh, well, this is, I'm like 92% sure that this is the right guy, but it's 8% sure that we're not. Like, oh, what's it called? Like the death penalty. Like, if you're going to make that choice, right? If you're going to make that choice, you got to be sure. The death penalty? Exactly like death penalty. So freely, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Also, Brett, thank you for the 18-month resubscription. What's going on? Is everybody rating me because it's Juneteenth and I'm black? W. We get 1 month and 1 day.
CBS News correspondent Jared Hill to get the latest developments from the US.
So there are a couple of things that we are learning from sources here at CBS News about President Trump's potential decision on what to do with Iran. One of the factors, from what we've learned from sources, is that it is dependent upon whether Iran, in some way, shape, or form, decides to abandon its nuclear program. Yesterday, President Trump said that Iranian officials had been asking to come to the White House to talk about this. Iranians, though, have said that they have not had any type of conversation about that, and so we still don't know what the truth is there. The Iranians are also saying that they don't plan on surrendering. The other factor here that we've learned is that President Trump is potentially waiting for more U.S. military assets to arrive in the region before he makes a decision on whether there will be some type of physical strike on Iran. We have seen some efforts.
As opposed to what? A mental strike? Iran, you're dumb. Psychic damage? What are we talking about? What other kind of strike is there?
From some Republican and Democratic lawmakers here in the U.S. on Capitol Hill in Washington, weighing whether they should push through a bill or a law that would prevent President Trump from acting on Iran without the approval of Congress. That is in the early stages right now, but all of this showcases just...
It's in the early stages. Bro, Trump is giving you all the time in the world. Why is it only in the early stages? It's been like a week. It's been a week. Y'all couldn't mobilize any faster? I mean, to be fair, they're all like 90 years old, right? They had to take time with their canes and their walkers, making it up the congressional ramp because they can't use the stairs anymore because they're too old. They're like, oh, no, well, yeah, we'll get to passing something through Congress eventually. Why does the bill have to be pushed if it's literally against the Constitution for him to do that? I don't freaking know. Probably some loophole somewhere. Like there's loopholes everywhere in the Constitution. But let's be real, the Constitution, outside of its, whole not caring about the rights of civilians if they're not white or men, right, is a flawed document. Just completely flawed document. Like it's just it's pretty bad. Like, for a good example of this is like the Third Amendment, right? The Third Amendment, which is like the Quartering Act, which is like you can't, or you don't have to like quarter soldiers. You cannot be required to like quarter soldiers. It's your right as an American citizen to not do that, but it also doesn't apply to cops. Like, why would it not apply to cops? I feel like it should apply to cops. Cops are essentially soldiers of the state. But Congress, Supreme Court has ruled that it does not apply to cops because cops are not soldiers. So I'm just like, that's like an oversight. I feel like that needs an amendment. 28th Amendment, 29th Amendment? I don't know what amendment we're on. Cops are soldiers. Therefore, I don't have to have them in my house. So cops can literally just break into your house. Cops can just chill in your house apartment. Yes. Cops can just break into your house and say, we need your house, this space, your living room as a stakeout. Because your window is pointing directly at that house across the street. And you can't kick them out. Yes. That's a thing that cops can and have done. Cops can also steal your stuff. They can also, like, you could be driving, a police car can pull up in front of you or pull you over. A cop can pull you out of the car, right? And be like, I need your car. They get in your car and they drive away with your car, leaving you there with nothing. Right? Cops can take your money. If you're driving around with like a briefcase full of money that you just did a business deal for, cops can be like, I think this money is illegitimate, and they can just take your money. They can do that. That was a movie stereotype. No, cops actually have the power to do that. This is a thing that cops can do. And they have done, by the way. Cops took someone's Red Bull on camera in the protests. And they get to do so. And they can't be held accountable. They can't take my crypto. I mean, they can take your crypto wallet key. Your little flash drive. The cops are like, this is my flash drive now. What are you going to do? They'll shoot you if you say anything.
How divisive this issue is here in the States.
Indeed, and perhaps even divisive in his government, Jared, because we heard a couple of months ago from Tulsi Gabbard, who said something quite different in terms of how ready Iran was in terms of nuclear capabilities.
I forgot Tulsi Gabbard was actually in the government.
That's right. So the argument here is that all of this is happening because Iran, the argument again is Iran is incredibly close to enriching enough uranium to have a nuclear weapon. What we heard from Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, just in March was that.
And what I don't understand, right, is even if it was like a genuine danger for Iran, like Iran said, we will strike the U.S. once we finish our uranium enrichment for our nuclear weapon, and we are 75% of the way there, or whatever, like, does that give a right to the U.S. to then start killing like Iranian civilians? Even though that has not even happened, right? Like, at what line, at what point does America can just, I mean, I say this, but like, we invaded like 2 countries based upon this like false idea of like WMDs. Like we'll just keep doing it. You know what I mean? Weapons of mass destruction. We're gonna go over there. You know what I heard, Chad? I heard America has WMDs. Surprise. Also, would that justify like China invading the U.S. for our nuclear weapons that we definitely have and we've used on people? As says, follow the U.S. Constitution, at least it doesn't have the same flaw as the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom, which is literally a massive non-withstanding clause that allows the charter to be legally ignored. I mean, that's kind of like what the Supreme Court is. America has WMDs and the only nation that has deployed them. But like, have you considered that we're America? So like, nobody can hold us accountable.
The assessment was that Iran was not close to having a nuclear weapon. President Trump, a couple of days ago, said he doesn't care what Tulsi Gabbard said. He believes, based on his current knowledge or intuition, that they are close to having.
Bro said his own knowledge or intuition. I love that one man's intuition is enough to pull us into like a war. You know what I mean? Which is kind of exactly like what happened with like Colin Powell. Right? It was Colin Powell's intuition that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And look at how that turned out. But now, these are very different circumstances. Ugh. They got to Trump, Iran was close to having nukes. I mean, how different is intuition?
Having a nuclear weapon. And so there is that division within the Trump administration itself on the intel.
Well, that's Jared Hill with the view from the United States as President Trump decides whether or not to join Israel in its military action. And we are getting some response on Iranian state media from Iran.
Colin Powell on Juneteenth, honestly deserved. Honestly deserved. Rest in peace. Wait, is he even dead? I actually don't even. I think he died at some point, right? Yeah, he died recently. I remember this happening. Deserved.
Iran's deputy foreign minister, who said,
also,
if the
and
US...
I want to point out, Chad, and I want to ask you this question as well. Do y'all think that Kamala Harris would refrain from joining like Israel? I think that there is an argument that like we would just publicly support them and like we wouldn't like strike Iran directly, but also there's also just no evidence that's the case. It'll be purely based on vibes. Right? I think there's a world where that could have happened, but like there's just no evidence to back that up. Kamala would be here in 12 months instead of now. They would have been no wishy-washy kind of way. I think it would have been some wishy-washy kind of way, but I just don't know. Didn't she say the policy on Iran was the one area she would differ with Biden on? Did she say that? One question is if Israel would have not started the same way. If they did, she'd get involved. That's true. Like there's no question that she would stand by Israel. And if Israel struck Iran, they would support the Israeli campaign against Iran, right? The question is, would Israel have struck Iran? Yes, this is 100%. And the second question is, would America strike Iran directly at the behest of Israel? And that's the thing that I'm not entirely sure of. I think shipments of weapons would be falling off a truck, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we would definitely be giving them American weaponry, right? We would definitely be giving them American weaponry for sure. But I think ironically Congress would stop her. Maybe, but I don't know. And this is also kind of the problem. The fact that we don't know how she would react in the situation, it kind of underlines exactly why she lost. Right? Because, like, if you're legitimately anti-war, there is, like, very little difference between the two. The question is not, like, will they get involved? It's about how much would they get involved in, like, conflict with Iran. Was he anti-war though? I mean, Sarah, that's exactly my point. I don't think you're listening to me. I'm saying that that's the problem, is that she's not anti-war. Therefore, if you are anti-war, you see no difference between the two parties. So y'all don't be listening to me. Y'all just start yapping. Yeah. Harris obviously would have been against this war. Too bad she's dead now and can't say anything. True. Man, too bad she can't like make a statement about how this is incorrect and bad or whatever. Too bad she's just gone away and flirted away into the ether, you know? So she can't say anything. That's a good point, actually. That's actually a really good point. Like, if she was actually against the war, why is she not saying that she's against, like, war with Iran? Is she saying anything? What is she? Maybe she is saying it. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Let's see, Kamala Harris. Let's see what Kamala Harris is saying. No, she said absolutely nothing. She has said nothing. Radio silence about a potential war with Iran. Sure. Yeah, she's keeping her peace. She's at brunch. She's busy doing something else. What else? She doesn't have a job anymore. Too busy on a book tour or something? What is Joe Biden? I think Joe Biden actually might be dead. What is Joe Biden saying? Nope, same thing. Wait, do these accounts only exist to just tweet when like a tragedy happens? Right? I stand against political violence. Or happy birthday, Jill. Jill and I pray for the victims of violent targeted attack on Jewish community in Boulder. Like, I feel like this account is just a moratorium. It's just like, oh, this person died, I'm sorry. 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 Like, that's literally all that's going on here. It's either happy birthday, Jill, or congratulations, Proplia, or this person died, I'm sorry. And that's literally it. Two sides of the spectrum, life and death, yeah. Which respect. This is actually a good point. Yeah, let's continue.
Wants to actively intervene in support of Israel. Iran will have no other option but to use its tools to teach aggressors a lesson and defend itself. Well, as efforts to de-escalate the tensions continue, the British Foreign Secretary David Lammy is going to be meeting his US counterpart Marco Rubio in Washington today. Well, earlier I was speaking to...
Also, did y'all watch that Ted Cruz interview? I watched some of it with Hassan, and Hassan was watching it. Ted got cooked. I'm gonna be real. Ted got cooked.
To our political correspondent Joe Pike in Westminster to get more of a sense of the UK's position on all of this.
The UK's position.
Progress we made lately on anti-Israel sentiment on the news has been pulled back really quickly. I mean, the media is always going to do what the media does, right? The media is always going to serve as a propaganda mouthpiece for a propaganda mouthpiece for like the U.S. state, right? But the sentiment does still exist within the American populace, right? That's something that I don't think Israel's going to be able to put back into the box anytime soon, right? Even like of like conservatives, some conservatives didn't like Israel because they're like anti-Semitic anyway. But like even like amongst like the general populace, especially young people, they just don't like Israel. Right? They don't like the genocide, by and large. They don't like the fact that American tax dollars are going to fund whatever Israel does, including like striking Iran. From a conservative perspective, like they I think maybe it's because the people who are in power now, like the U.S. politicians, are just so bad at trying to like massage a narrative against like against Israel, that like they've basically given up, and now like the American populace is just like, they just don't like Israel. They're not like, I'm going to defend Israel with my life, like what used to happen.
Is evolving because the key message of escalation we've heard from UK government ministers does not seem to be being heeded in the White House. David Lammy meeting Marco Rubio today and other key contacts in Washington, D.C., we're told. There has been some tension in the relations between the two countries over the UK's decision with some other...
I don't know if I really care about the rest of this. But yeah, that's where we are now. Trump is considering, maybe thinking about slightly going towards the side of maybe potentially striking Iran. That's where we are so far. Very clear. Very clear. I'm so glad as an American, I know exactly what my country's going to do. We confirmed anti-racist by watching Sean today. W. So yeah. Only time will tell. We don't know. We'll see as today progresses. We'll see as today progresses. I do want to watch this new Northstar Radio video. It's an hour long about Ethan Klein in preparation for a potential nuke that's dropping, not on Iran, or not in America, but on Hassan Piker, the only nuke that matters. We could also do this as well, just to see about the New York elections.
What they think.
My guest tonight, an actor, writer.
No, I'm not watching this. I don't watch the Daily Show here because they will literally kill my VOD. He mentioned your name yesterday. What did I do? I haven't talked about him in like 2 weeks. Can I not just mind my own business? You better have said happy Juneteenth. Gosh darn it. Do I just watch Ace Reed for fun? That's the question.
Then this dovetails into something really interesting.
I think all streamers should just not watch the new nuke. Hassan hasn't even mentioned it. I think it should be fully ignored this time. I think Hassan has not mentioned it because Hassan doesn't know about it. Like, legitimately. You know what I mean? I didn't even know it was dropping today. I didn't even know he was working on it. Happy Juneteenth, thank you. He's trying to bait people to watch his new video by Dan Solomon and Destiny. What? He mentioned me to try to bait people, to try to bait me into watching the nuke video with Diddy Saltman. That doesn't make sense. Just tell me what he said, chatter.
This dude, Comrade Casey, 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 Comrade Casey. Like he's a slick editor. Comrade Casey, Comrade Casey, Comrade Casey. He made a video about the end of Leftovers. I haven't watched the whole thing. It's long as him. I generally don't like watching videos like this because it's usually depressing. And it seems to have like a neutral title, but I think everybody noticed as they were watching through it, even Hassan, I think, commented on it, that this video is a little fucking weird.
Pretty much the core of the videos that you became like the debate pervert.
Pretty much confirming that Ethan lied about
900,000 Jews were forced to become Zionists, not by choice, but because they were forced out. The vast majority went to the fucking Arabs. So that's my boy Northstar Radio, who is a hidden snark user / obsessive freak making content that is biased against me. And also, apparently, he hates Jewish people. China sucks. Russia, bullshit. Cuba, overrated. Venezuela, hole. I'm gonna Joseph McCarthy you.
Ethan, I've been sitting on this for a long time. I knew the day would come, and you knew it too.
Sometimes watching old Ethan Klein, even like from like the early stages of the crash out, you're kind of just like, dang. That's crazy. Back when his problem was just like, oh, this video about why leftovers ended is not that nice to me. He has devolved.
Back on September 11th, 2024, while the nation mourned, you began a journey. Or rather, I sent you on that journey. I uploaded a video that didn't just critique you, it defined you. I laid out point by point how you'd gotten debate pilled without understanding a single concept beyond liberal good, conservative bad. You tried to be a political commentator without doing the reading, without even understanding a single word leaving your mouth.
In Cyprus, we have Turkish Cypriots and we have Greek Cypriots. In Ukraine, there are people that they are a lot more pro-Russian, closest to the Donbas region, and also closest to Kiev, they are more pro-Ukrainians. You know that there are a bit of press, actually, the Ukrainians that live closer to the Russian borders, because they are forced to have the language of Ukrainian. Everyone speaks Russian there.
There were some pro-Russian sympathizers in Ukraine. I think it's exaggerated how many, but ever since the invasion, that has shifted. Let me finish my point. This whole notion that there's like a ton of Russian supporters in Ukraine, I think is not correct.
Okay.
Let's do the poll like this.
Stop funding Ukraine or keep funding Ukraine?
Yes, should we let Ukraine fall to Russian tyranny? But that's accurate.
It's not like that.
But that's accurate.
No, but this is, but I told you a lot of the people on the sites that they are occupied now, they
like
don't
that's
hate
hearsay.
Russians.
I feel like that's hearsay.
Should we keep funding the war? Yes or no?
Should we let Ukraine fall to Russian tyranny?
Saying they already watched Ethan's new video. What does this have to do with me, chatter? I don't care what Destiny and Diddy Saltman have to say. What does this have to do with me?
And in your hubris, you turn those debates inward. You got accustomed to easy wins.
Do you feel that sometimes you argue from emotion rather than like concrete facts? I find that when you talk about, and I've watched a lot of your videos, you say,
Ethan mentioned you. Here, watch this completely unrelated clip. I asked you, what did he say about me? How did I get involved in this situation?
I feel this to be true. Do you feel you do that a lot or no?
I try. I would say I'm a woman, so sometimes, yeah.
So why should I engage with in a conversation with you at all if women are just emotional? Shouldn't I be talking to a man about this? Don't you feel a little slutty when you walk around with your big bicep?
I mean, this is true. This is what I've always said about Ethan Klein, is that he's never changed. He's just started picking worse targets, right? He used to dunk on the easy targets. Like, it's super easy to dunk on just pearly things, or like Fresh and Fit, right? Or Vosh. Like, it's super easy because like there's very clear avenues of attack. Right. And now he's trying to like dip into like political discourse to like dunk on Hassan, and it just doesn't work. Oh yeah, or Keemstar. Right. It just doesn't work. But there's a reason why he seems so focused on like, I think the people above me in my apartment have adopted like a dog or something. Cause for the last like 2-3 days, they've just been running around just nonstop. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, but yeah, like he's just like, now he's getting into like political discourse, and just like, he looks stupid. He looks dumb. Right? But he'll craft a like bubble, an echo chamber of sycophants around him that will never tell him that he sounds stupid when he talks.
Biceps out and shit.
I only put on this shirt so that I could show you guys that I work out.
That's a little
fucking
slutty, bro. Are you looking for validation from people in chat?
I'm just trying to flex on you guys.
But why?
I'm trying to show you guys what's up.
No, but like, you think that it's funny. You think you're being funny, but you actually just totally undermined everything you said. Let me, I have a theory.
And this is something that I've seen as well, is that this is like a little bit away from like the Ethan Klein, even like political discourse, but like kind of like a common thing you see on in the content creation sphere as well. It even happens on Twitch. Like sometimes you'll see like people who've been streaming for a while, right, be at like a certain like viewership threshold or whatever, and you're just like, how did they even get here? But it's because they've been streaming for a while. Like, it's because their face is familiar, and people are coming to see like a familiar face on the platforms, right? It's kind of like that. So like, Ethan Klein is not like garnering new fans or having more people watch him because he's like entertaining, right? But because he's been around for like 10 plus years. People are like, oh, the guy I used to watch when he was entertaining 10 years ago, right, is still here now. Let's see what he's got going on. Let's see what he's doing now, right? I see that a lot with streaming as well. People who've been streaming for like 8, 9, 10 plus years. I've been like, yeah, grandfathered into like their viewership.
Ready.
I think you actually fake having Tourette's. Yeah, I think you actually don't have it.
What did you think I had?
Well, let me just break it down. I think this is kind of a funny thing. I doubt this is what happened, but maybe you just called someone the N-word on the bus, and then you're like, oh, no, I have Tourette's.
And I've always said this, I always respect people who enter into the arena. And, you know, we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen.
Dang, Sam Cedar looks so young here. Maybe because of the lack of the beat.
I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
When you go on these tangents, you go on a rampage, you just ramble and ramble without making any concise point or a question. Is it you're done with that shit? Can we talk like adults now or not?
I think this conversation has kind of been exhausted.
People would rather watch me full screen cam do the fucking worm than watch your prime.
Bro, do it for a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, he's crying in the corner.
Beating racists and idiots so effortlessly that you started to believe you could
That was also not the worm, by the way. This is so funny to watch. That was also not the worm. Why did he do that? He said, to be fair, XQC did say that people would rather watch me do the worm than whatever you're doing. And Ethan did say do that. And then he just started doing the worm, or doing whatever that was.
Debate anyone, even your own podcast co-host.
Golly, last week was the capitalism versus socialism week. But I have to tell you, I want to talk about it more tomorrow because I've been thinking a lot about it.
Great.
Well, that's what Thursday is for, right?
That's what Hassan's there for.
I myself am pretty ignorant on the methods of governing and histories and all that. So I do think this conversation of, I'm not even going to say capitalism because that seems to trigger people. I'm just going to say social democracy. I was actually invigorated by the conversation in that I don't know what I'm talking about. And so I've been thinking about our conversation a lot, and I've been educating myself a lot. I want to better represent my position because I don't really know a lot, and I feel like I've done a lot of research in the week.
What did you do? What did you read? What kind of research did you do?
I had a very in-depth conversation with ChatGPT.
But the moment you faced real pushback, real evidence in the face of your feelings-based arguments, your confidence crumbled.
It's crazy. ChatGPT has been around for so long. It doesn't feel like it has, but also kind of does feel like it has. You know?
3 debates, 3 disasters.
If the employee is extremely satisfied,
yeah,
and they feel well provided for, I mean, in a sense, it's like, who are you to tell him he's being exploited? I don't see what's so great and humanizing about hiring a janitor for 0.00015% of the company.
What do you? I don't understand. That's not what I said. You just.
China's not that far from fascism.
It's the same with.
It's like
if
right
China's
there.
not that far from fascism. America is literally 10x the Nazi Germany fascism. Though
I disagree.
You have to admit.
China's closer. Because they have
what?
They
built a military, but they haven't even fucking
not the only
used
thing
it.
I said. I don't think Chinese fascism is better or worse than American fascism. What? Why is that funny?
What's worse, the violence towards the civilians in apartheid South Africa, or the violence of the apartheid regime? You would say the violence of the apartheid regime, right?
I don't know. Did they mass murder 1,500 civilians? This doesn't seem like a small rally, frankly. There's a lot of people out here.
There was some sort of rave or desert party where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took...
I just want to point out, this chatter sent me a link saying start watching from here. Wait, no, he said start an hour 50 in. Okay, never mind. Because you said, the chatter sent me a link to 40 minutes. 40 minutes into the video. I was like, this has nothing to do with me.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe.
Dofus 9090 just subscribed.
Okay, this is pretty funny. All right, this is pretty funny. There.
But now Ian's
YouTube sucks when copying a link. It always sends you where you stopped. I'll give you a little bit of sauce, chat. If you're on a PC, just right click. Right click the bar and click copy video at current URL. Right? Or you can go to share, start at, and then change the timestamp here.
all of his best friends.
We're talking back to holy moly. Okay, that's a good tip. Easy. What is this about?
And watching and uploading it.
Okay.
And at the time, we're all like, yo, this is freebooting, this is theft, all this stuff. But now Ian's, all of his best friends on Twitch, Hassan, Denims, Frogan, I don't know what Sean the Black does. Is he on Twitch?
Wake up.
I don't know. I'm not just saying that to like.
I don't know.
I don't have an answer for you.
Well, anyway, this is what they.
Yeah, Dan, sure you don't know. Me and Dan are best friends. He won't say it though.
Do all day is they steal content.
Like Sniper Wolf style? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Sniper Wolf. Yeah, like Sniper Wolf.
Okay, just phones it in.
So I just find it interesting that now he's friends with these people.
Sean the Black is on Twitch. We've confirmed.
He is on Twitch.
Ethan, wake up.
To what capacity is he on Twitch?
I don't know what that question means.
Well, if anyone's
I was like, what does that mean?
watching, are you really there?
I see. I see.
If a streamer goes live on Twitch and there's no one to watch it, do they exist?
Deep question.
Thank you. I was really thinking about watching that Jinx one on the show. It is devastating. Like, you will never look at him the same.
Sounds fun.
Oh, and the other thing was I was watching an interview with Ian, and he issued all of these apologies to people, but he never apologized directly to Jinx. And after watching that video, and now he's friends with all these people that he was criticizing him for, I feel like
I was going to say that he's a freebooter. You don't even know what he does. They moved on, just a small cameo. That was it? Okay, cool. That was basically part of the soundboard. I mean, I guess. You know what? Man, Ethan, he got me. I was live on all platforms. This is true. I am live on all platforms. You're so right, Sad Cheetah. You can find me on all platforms. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok sometimes. You know, on all platforms. Okay, maybe not Rumble. Kick, maybe soon. Who knows? Kick's gonna throw me a bag.
At least several dozen hipsters.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't
Also,
even...
okay, hold on. Here, watch this for a second.
Yeah, okay.
Israel was fighting to defend itself before America gave a fuck about the region. The Jews were fighting to defend themselves and their new place in that area from the very beginning, with no help from anybody.
That's not okay. You know, I was gonna let it slide. But I'm not gonna let it slide. I have more viewers than AB does on Twitch, okay? Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. I was like, hold on. Cause like I'm not like a small Twitch streamer. Let's be real. Like ranked 3,782 in the world, by the way. 14,174 or 171. What about AB and Olivia combined? I mean, we can check. I don't know what Olivia's Twitch is. Aren't you top 1%? I am top 0.06%. Top 2,000 in the world, English in the English-speaking Twitch channels. I mean, Olivia doesn't even have a rank, but yeah. She hasn't streamed in a bit, though. She's focused on her YouTube, if I recall correctly. That's all I'm saying. Like, if I'm a nobody, who are they? Who are they? Not to pull in AB and Olivia. They catching strays. My bad. But like, like let's be real here. Let's be real here. And you're growing too. You think you'll be bigger than age 3? I was gonna make a joke there. I realized, like, no, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that was too far. Trying to bully. I'm not bullying anybody. Also, this also isn't my main. This also isn't my main thing. I'm not a full-time streamer. In case you're wondering, Sean, what else do you do? You know what? I'll tell you. If you don't know, now you know. Gen Z for Change, which I work at, we have released the Fight Initiative. If you don't like what ICE is doing, you're anti-ICE, you can just go to genzforchange.org/fight, also /H. ICE out of LA. We have a project where, if you didn't know, that there are hotels that are putting up ICE in certain hotels in Los Angeles. That's where ICE is staying. And so if you want to mess with them a little bit, you can send a very nice email to these hotels, both Hilton and Marriott, to tell them to get ICE out of the hotel. It's very simple. You just set this up once. You don't have to touch it ever again. It's an Apple shortcut, right? So you download the shortcut at this website, genzforchange.org/fight/H. And you create an automation to run, once a day, once every time you open an app. And then it automatically sends an email to different hotels to tell them to stop housing ICE. So yeah. This is what I do on my my off time. We also had another one. I don't remember what it was called though. Yeah, this is what I do on my free time. Being busy was my type of activism. So yeah, you can do that. Or, I mean, yeah, I don't want to say Google my name, but you can Google my name to see similar work that I've done as well in the past. I don't know, and maybe if Ethan cared about, ICE and immigration and things of that nature, this is something that he can do. This is a little bit of activism past voting for Kamala Harris. It's tied to run on a time or an app or action by user and for real-time email, so not listed as spam. Yeah. it's on Apple. There's like a during shortcuts you can put an automation to run on anything. Like anything you could run on an Apple shortcuts automation, you could run this shortcut to send an email. So yeah, let me look it up. Open it up. Shortcuts, automations. So you can do a shortcut for a time of day, or for when an alarm is stopped, or an alarm is ran, when sleep mode is active, when you arrive somewhere. So if you want to send an email to hotels every time you arrive at home, or every time you leave your house, you can do that too. I'm too dumb to understand how to send. It's not that difficult, chat. It's simple. The instructions are right there. Right? It's as simple as just downloading an Apple shortcut. You just click this button. You click Get Shortcut. It'll open up the shortcut menu. Right? It'll look like this. Not like this menu, but it'll look like something like this. And then you go to Automations, right here at the bottom. Boop, 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 Automations. And then you just click on the plus. Click on, like, let's say time of day. And then you set a time of day. You set run immediately. Daily. And you set the time of day you want it to run at. And then once a day, you'll send an email to the hotels, tell them to stop taking ice. No Apple device. I can work on a Android alternative. I just don't have an Android to test it on. Stop quartering the troops. 100%. Stop quartering the troops. Enact the Third Amendment. But yeah. So it's cool too. I didn't make the website. I don't do the website making. That was Hannah and Grace that worked on that. I did the tool because that's all that I do. But also you can also go to Gen Z for Change. Oh wait. LOL. GenZforChange.org. And go to initiatives to see all the stuff that I've worked on. There's a cool initiative. Let us know if you do an Android version. I will send it into Slack to put on the docket. Did Sean go live on YouTube? I did go live on YouTube. I am currently live on YouTube right now. Yeah. But yeah, hop off my dick. That's what I'll say. And so anyway, if you want to stick it to Ethan, I'm telling you, chat, think about how funny it would be. Think about how funny it would be to give me Rising Star. I'm just saying, I think if you want to stick it to Ethan, you should make me Rising Star because it will make him cry.
I mean, that's not true. They were shipping in weapons.
Have you lived through daily suicide bombs in cafes and bus stops? Or
as a matter of fact, I have. I grew up in Turkey, but that's a different point.
I'm gonna go find a group of black people say the Confederate flag isn't racist. I'm gonna go find.
Ethan, please stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You're being ridiculous. This point is
Ethan, you're making a conflation that makes.
And I should also be the Rising Star at the Stream Awards too, chat. So make sure you vote for me.
You look
many Jews you can
horrible.
put in
Why
a
don't
room
you
to
see
agree with
this?
you means fucking nothing. If you don't want to hear the perspective, if you don't want to empathize at all with people that find it offensive,
I'm not racist. W. That's all you need. Also, tell your friends to follow me too. Fuzz, thank you for the 4-month subscription, by the way.
then
Also, I want to hear your ideas for the 30-hour stream. I'm thinking maybe Saturday and Sunday. 30-hour stream. So if you have things that you want me to, I'm not reacting to wrestling. That's not happening. Legos, just like building Legos. Why 30-hour? What an odd number. Look at the follower count. Claire Obscura. What is Claire Obscura? Ludwig collab? I don't think that's happening. AAV tier with Ludwig. You know what? Okay. Just for you, I will DM Ludwig and ask him if he wants to be on my 30-hour stream to do an AAVE tier list. It's not going to happen, but I'll ask him. You know what? It has to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but sure. Okay. Night Rain with FD. Does FD even have Night Rain? Did he even beat the base game of Elden Ring? Did you finish the How Streamers Say My Name tier list? No, we actually didn't do that at all. We can do that. FD barely understands Elden Ring.
Let your man go, huh?
Drop it, I don't want to talk about it.
Drop it, hell. I want to hear about this, homie.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Let your man go, huh?
Drop it, I don't want to talk about it.
Drop it, hell. I want to hear about this, homie.
I said forget about it, cuz.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah. I did see this as well, because I was tagged underneath it. This is what Ludwig sounds like when he says, on God, fine shit, and finna.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? You're not...
This video is trying to like summarizes my sentiments so perfectly. Yeah. This is a good video, chat. You should watch it. You know what?
Fine shit.
Ow! For Juneteenth, do me a solid and watch this video. And give it a like. Bow. I've been laughing at this clip for days. It's so funny. It's so funny. I have a comment on it. It performed pretty well, actually. So I did not realize it was Bieber. I knew it was Justin Bieber as soon as I saw it. I was like, this is Justin Bieber. It's not clocking you. It's not clocking you that I'm standing on business, is it? The video first of yours I've watched? Really? Well, W. Welcome in, chatter. Hello. Here's a link to it. It's called Cultural Theft or Comedy. The Rise of AAVE as Content. No, I read this backwards. I'm so stupid. It says comedy or cultural theft. I was like, wait, that sounded wrong. That didn't sound correct. And the reason why I messed it up is because in the thumbnail, it's the other way around. No, it's not. It's correct around. I can't read. Maybe that's my problem. Communication, the Black Identity one is fire. It didn't clock to me. It's not clocking to me that I'm standing on business. I will say, I still think my commodification of the Black Identity video is definitely my my best video for sure. for sure. Now, where does TikTok fit into all of this? This is definitely my most robust video. It took me a month to produce, actually. Your magnum opus until the next one. I don't think I'll have another video like this in a while, just because I don't think I have anything that I want to say so much. I usually only make videos when I have something I want to say, which is why you see like, you don't see that many videos from me recently. Because a lot of the stuff that I talk about on stream are not things that I like want to say, like, or put out there like that. Right? Like the whole like, you know, this is why people are mad at Doug segment. It's like not necessarily something that would be a good video, per se. Perchance. Also, I think why this video did so well, as you can tell by the graph of like most watched segments, it was because of this compilation.
She got big old titties. I said goo goo, goo gaga. In a zoo, monkey ass niggas. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Stop playing with me. When the money talking, I cannot hear what you're saying to me.
I'm gonna do a boyfriend haul. So this is the one that I have. I met him in 2014, but he wasn't on the market yet. So in 2016, he was on the market, and I decided to see if it was a good investment for me. However, the timing wasn't really right, so it wasn't until the beginning of 2018 that I purchased this one. I don't know the exact month or day that I purchased this one, but it was in the beginning of 2018. One thing that I love about this one is he can literally do anything, fix anything. If he doesn't know how to do something, he will learn that day. And I mean, look at him. But one bad thing, one con about this model is he's taking a little bit longer than usual to upgrade to fiance mode. So hopefully soon we'll upgrade to fiance mode, but until...
It's just like black people painting their face black with burnt cork. See, I think that compilation is literally the most watched section. It's the most watched section in the entire video. I think that is part of why the video did well. I think the Lil Pump saying the N-word compilation is also part of the reason why the video did well.
Damn.
Not black. Come from. Firstly, it's important to note that Lil Pump is not black. He's not black. He's Colombian, even though his use of a certain racial term might convince you otherwise.
Walk in, try red flare. Ooh, fuck a nigga, bitch, don't care. Damn. Pop foes and said I fuck a nigga, bitch. Impersonate cause he acting like a bitch. Take a nigga, bitch, to the Motel 6. Take a nigga, bitch, go missing. Ooh, bitch, I ball like a piston. Ooh. Bro, niggas hating on me, man, this shit need to stop it. Lil Pump, the freshest nigga coming out my city.
But besides that, as I stated earlier, it all felt very... Oh, wait, I forgot to put that part in here.
The freshest nigga coming out my city.
I thought he was about to say closet would have been a better bar in my opinion. Don't y'all hear that, chat? Like, you would think that he was about to say coming out the closet. It would have worked so much better.
Take a nigga, bitch, go missing. Ooh, bitch, I ball like a piston. Ooh. Bro, niggas hating on me, man, this shit need to stop it. Lil Pump, the freshest nigga coming out my city.
But besides that, yeah, he said stop it. Right? I thought he was about to say coming out the closet. I was like, okay, bars. But no, he said coming out my city. I'm like, boo, boo, bad bar. Bad bar. Anyway, yeah, this video made this your required reading, chat. It got 161,000 views and 14,000 likes. And that was primarily due to FD Signifier for sure. Wait, he's gay? No, but it still would have been a better bar. Required white watching, not gonna lie. True. Also, if you're asking me, have I heard Lil Pump's latest anything? The answer is probably no. Probably not, no. Anyway, yeah, that was a long tangent. All right, but also one more thing. That my OTK video also got 20,000 views, which is kind of crazy. But let's continue with Ethan Klein. Your crash out was my masterpiece.
Conversing is kind of pointless. And you know I'm not a fucking radical Jew. I'm not even a religious Jew.
No,
I
know.
I have no stake in the game. And this is coming from...
You got your feelings hurt so badly that rather than admit defeat, you dragged the entire show and your friendship
I see the hostile
down with you.
I know they're there. I see them.
A
You got the
self-inflicted
captions, please? Sure.
rage quit. The first phase of your downfall.
I do feel like I'm probably going to pause leftovers for the time being. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, if only that lasted. If only that lasted. Please take me back to that. I mean, that stream because it was too rough to watch live. By the time I went back to rewatch it, Crash Out had begun. I watched it live. I was also streaming it because the chat was off, and I was complaining about Ethan sucking. Even back then, when all of y'all were hostile Ethaning. My girlfriend and I are both watching you on separate devices while she gets an iron infusion at the hospital. Happy Juneteenth. Thank you. You and your girlfriend. Also, girlfriend haver. You know, you don't need to flex on us. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
That's it. And it sounds like a lot of y'all don't want me to talk about it either.
As always.
Now, when that video came out, people said I was being dramatic. People said I was stretching. But little did Hassan know. He was feeding the thing that would eat him.
I don't know if it's like that. Like, I don't think it's like that.
But time has a way of vindicating people who know what they're talking about. And from that day forward, you proved me right at every single step.
So you have these terrorists that went and did this horrible
shot was off.
Attack.
Hassan's trying to be off more often. All right, Hassan, if you're watching me, just put the chat in emote only mode while I'm live and Hassan's live, so people just come here instead.
They retreated back into Gaza. And their bases are under hospitals. They shoot from schools. They embed themselves in the civilian population. They even dress as civilians when they fight. So, like, I guess I don't know what, like, the IDF, just to give them, like, a plausible road into dealing with that situation, like what does the IDF do from the Israeli perspective?
So today, I'm here to walk you through your crash out. The one I warned about, the one I caused, and the one you were never going to escape.
All I need, my friends. It's so good to see you again. Happy Friday to all of my beloved audience members, to my crew, to my beautiful wife, to my dogs. TGIF.
Your crash out began fittingly on 9/11.
It's so funny to think about. Whenever I see like the lineup of the podcast people, like Ethan is literally like the worst part of his own podcast. It's so funny.
A day of disaster. It started when Twitter user WowMao posted about Osama bin Laden, sparking a conversation about how history is understood, or at least how it should be. But you, as always, couldn't handle complexity.
I want to talk.
I mean, Ela's a part of it as well, so like, you know, they're like a package deal, you know.
About my beef with bin Laden. Now, I made the brave assertion on Instagram, and again, this stems from these TikTok people who are like simping for bin Laden because he was anti-American. Do Americans actually know why bin Laden did all that? Or do they believe he hated...
Like, it's funny because, like, he's not entirely incorrect. Like, Ethan's not wrong. There were, like, actual TikTokers who were, like, simping for Osama bin Laden. Right? But, like, WowMao was not one of them. Why was this his example? Why didn't he just go to, like, freaking Rebecca on TikTok, who was like, guys, I just read Bin Laden's letter to America, and he was right all along. Like, why didn't he go to that person instead of like Wow Mao or Frogan, who was like, I feel like the way that America portrays Bin Laden is reductive. You know, like it doesn't serve his purpose.
That they can vote or something. Well, can you imagine? People started lining up to die on this hill of defending Bin Laden.
I quote retweeted
like that's
the
not
thread.
even defending Bin Laden. I was sent it to Hassan, so it got posted to the Reddit. But still, like it's still Ethan's choice to like post about it. Like you could do a little bit better of a job, but like obviously he's not going to because we know how this ends in the future. But like just looking back on it, it's just such a silly thing. You didn't even defend him in the tweet. That's what I'm saying. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
With a simple observation. Ethan Klein has never heard of historical analysis.
So the first thing I saw was this dude named Comrade Casey. Comrade Casey says, Ethan Klein has never heard of historical analysis. We can analyze it all we want. That's his literal words. Like, he's just like, I hate Jewish people and I want to kill people who have freedoms, who aren't following Sharia law all the time. And they're like, well, what did he really mean by that?
That was the first time you mentioned me. A moment so small it should have passed unnoticed. But for you, it was the spark that lit the fuse.
Comrade Casey, you bitch-ass weirdo. You look like a weirdo. And I don't hate mustaches, but man, that's a weirdo mustache.
From there, you did what you always do when confronted with a conversation you can't control. You spiraled. You convinced yourself that every socialist engaging in that discussion, every single one, was somehow defending Osama bin Laden. That we were all pro-terrorism. You even circled back to one of your favorite targets, Frogan.
Like, the craziest part is that Ethan doesn't even have to agree. You don't even have to agree with the analysis, right? That's the point of analysis, is you can do your own analysis and you can disagree with it, right? But the idea that it's invalid to do analysis about the way that America portrays its enemies, whoever the enemies are, and like just doing that analysis is inherently incorrect. It's wrong. You hear the words about as complex as a Marvel movie? I think it's less complex. I'm gonna be real. Benny Boy Troy, thank you for the Prime. Which chat, you know your primes can be used here and only here and nowhere else but here, and they're completely free. They cost you nothing. You'd probably already have an Amazon Prime account. Just connect it with your Twitch account and you get a free Prime subscription. Can only be used here. Might as well use it. That's all I'm saying.
Because she had the nerve to participate in the conversation like an adult.
Then comes everybody's favorite Hassan moderator, two-time rising star, Frogan. So here I am saying, actually, Osama...
This has gotten some mileage, chat. This has gotten some mileage.
Bin Laden bad, and her response was, this motherfucker never shuts up, oh my god. This is the girl who
proceeded to prove her correct at
I live like a capitalist every single day.
Single junction.
I live as a capitalist. Okay?
Every single junction. Every single junction.
Takedown Pair just subscribed.
Takedown Pair, thank you for the 7-month resubscription. Much appreciated.
was on in Hassan's Discord saying Ethan hates Arabs because I unfollowed her on Twitter. Tankies falling over themselves to defend Osama bin Laden should tell you all you need to know about their movement. You can like give historical analysis, but this guy is literally saying like, wow, are you dumb that he hated us for our freedoms? And it's like, well, he did. I said
that's historical analysis. And again, you don't have to agree with him, but like that is still historical analysis. It is. All Ethan had to say was, I don't agree with Wild Mal's analysis here. I think he did actually hate us because we won our freedoms. And I'd be like, cool, okay. We can have a conversation about that. But he was like, you're defending Osama bin Laden for doing analysis that I disagree with.
Said this is a Hassan mod telling me, a Jewish man, to shut the fuck up because I dare to say Osama bin Laden was bad.
No, she didn't tell you to shut up. She says you never shut up, right? Which, I mean, it's true. Also, maybe Ethan just can't read. Again, no shade. I can't read either. You know what I mean? Reading is difficult. Dyslexia hits hard. But like, I think that like, I think the teachers are correct. I think we have a true reading comprehension, like pandemic or epidemic in this country. Right? Like people just cannot like, not to go all English teacher on you here, but like the tweet being like, you can make a tweet saying, I like pancakes. People be like, oh, you hate waffles? Like that tweet is a tweet about the epidemic of reading comprehension failing in this country. You know? Just completely failing in this country. Because like people just can't read. They and by can't read, not saying that they can't like look at a string of letters creating words which create sentences, right? And they can't like, you know, say those words, but in saying that they can't understand the meaning behind the words that are said. Yeah, they're functionally illiterate. And it is a skill. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's like something that is inherent to people when they're born. It's something you have to learn, which is why schools are supposed to teach you. Like everybody like turns their nose up at like the whole like, oh, the curtains are blue. What does that mean? Like, you know, language arts English teacher class or whatever. But like, it's important. It's important to like do a little bit of interrogation about the media you're consuming, right? The words you are reading, and coming to the conclusion of what the author's intent was. Because some of y'all don't know the author's intent. Y'all were like, why do I need to know why the author wrote the curtains are blue? It's as simple as the curtains are blue. Maybe it's not. And maybe because you had no practice with that when you were in school, right? Is why you can't understand that the phrase, I like pancakes, does not mean I hate waffles. Maybe it is that deep. Maybe it's deeper than the curtains are blue. Maybe the author did mean something by writing the curtains are blue. And the fact that you did not get that when you were in school, right, is indicative of the fact that like everybody on the internet is always freaking yelling at each other because you don't understand what people are saying. And Ethan is literally doing that. He's literally doing that. Right? He's reading this sentence about when never shuts up. He's like, oh, you're telling me to shut up. That's not what the sentence is saying. The sentence is not saying Ethan Klein, shut up. Right? It's saying that Ethan Klein always makes or has a take and always sticks his nose into conversations that are never about him. And he always has to have a position on everything, even though he knows nothing. That's what the author's intent is with this phrase. And I think Ethan Klein is just too stupid to understand that.
A Jewish man to shut the fuck up because I dare to say Osama bin Laden was bad and hated Jews. Please understand this is why Leftovers ended and that her voice is not fringed within his community. You know, it's one thing to tell me in private, like, you know, just so you know, like she's just this way and I know that she doesn't mean it and all this kinds of stuff. But like, it's another thing to publicly continue to platform her and also not to address a massive portion of your audience that is just straight up fucking anti-Semitic.
And while you raged, I released my video, Why the H3 Leftovers podcast will never return. A clear, methodical breakdown of why your show had collapsed, why it couldn't return, why your ego and refusal to self-reflect had poisoned everything you touched. But it wasn't until one fateful day, when Ethan Klein and the H3 podcast decided to dive into the deep end of the online sphere of political commentary. That day was the beginning of the end for Steven Crowder.
Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare.
They certainly got Steven Crowder to admit to quite a bit, like running away from past debates with Sam Cedar.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
He admitted that he watched the show last week.
We got him. Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We got him.
Oh my God, we
Nailed him!
But most of the debate was pretty anticlimactic.
I have a general
This is a
rule.
great opportunity.
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get
Stephen,
to
show yourself, you coward. Stephen, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Stephen, you are such a coward. Stop showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Come on, Ethan, why do you have to bring on a guy who
Stephen!
Despite the debates,
Was that the entire thing, chat? I didn't watch it past the oh no, Sam Cedar, what a nightmare. Yeah? He cuts and runs? Oh, that's kind of lame. Carter ran away almost immediately. Carter left not long after. Oh, that's kind of sad. I'll say it was a funny bit though.
disorderly nature,
girl, the boycott.
It sparked something in the mind of Ethan, a yearning, a craving. He had one tiny droplet of debate pervertry, and he couldn't go back. Your response was predictable, to say the least. The anger you'd worked up over bin Laden just days earlier spilled over into your comments about me, guaranteeing you'd only make yourself look worse.
You don't want me to talk about you? Well, don't watch. Because I'm going to. How's that feel, Casey? I'm talking to you right now. Comrade Casey, we're not comrades anymore. I'm coming for all your commie thought. I am coming for...
Legitimately, probably Ethan. Now, if you include like the surrounding stuff, like the black faces and stuff like that, you probably get a compilation of Steven Crowder in blackface that's longer than Ethan Klein's blackface, maybe. But even then, it'd be a toss-up.
For China. China sucks. Russia, bullshit. Cuba, overrated. Venezuela, shithole. It's a shame that the democratically elected leader had to go into hiding because of their socialist dictator. Sucks how that always happens. Doesn't it, Comrade Casey? That's right, Casey. It always happens. Every time.
On the very next episode of your podcast, you covered two blatant examples of anti-Semitism, but then pivoted to stalking my Reddit history.
Speaking of anti-Semitism, there's a little bit going around. I gotta say, I'm grateful to the subreddit who is actually hearing me when I've been speaking about this recently, because I feel like nobody wants to hear it. And I feel supported by the community, which is nice. Somebody got this on the hood of their car. Every single aspect of the media is Jewish. But then this dovetails into something really interesting. This dude, Comrade Casey, he made a video about the end of leftovers. And you guys are gonna love this because it just keeps happening. It's really something. First of all, shout out to whoever did the ops on this. So anyway, this guy who made this video that's like super weird and biased towards Hassan and is like mega commie, tanky. This guy who runs Northstar Radio, Comrade Casey, they found his Reddit account. He's a big Hassan fan and clearly developed a deep hatred for Ethan and Hila since October 7th. In his video, at 7 minutes 50 seconds, he mentions he has already been radicalized by Hassan in 2019 and 2020. It seems to me that this guy is the exact sort of awful person Ethan was talking about that is within Hassan's community. Instead of facing and reflecting on that criticism, he goes on to spotlight this guy's obsessive hatred to his audience. So here's this fucking guy. Ever since November 23, he's been calling Ethan a Zionist, scumbag, genocide, denying IDF
I wonder why. Must be based on nothing.
Israel defender, amongst many other parasocial insane things. I've made an imager album of his H3 snark posts in chronological order and sprinkled in a few of his cringy main subreddit posts too along with it. Once again, I have a policy. If you're gonna post to snark with your face, I'd like to know who you are.
You labeled me an anti-Semite, not because of anything I'd said, and certainly not because of anything in the video itself. You never watched the video, never addressed a single point I made.
I haven't watched the whole thing. It's long as him. I generally don't like watching videos like this because it's usually depressing.
I do love Ethan Klein. You must watch my content, Nuke. How dare you not watch my content, Nuke? Like, you know, being like, oh, Denham's video, not watching it. Oh, this Northstar Radio video, not watching it. Right? Oh, this Frogan video, not watching it. Oh, this Ida's video, I'll watch it after I start it on my stream so I can say that I started watching it immediately. Only to then go home, pre-watch the entire thing, and come with a collection of points that I will address. And even then, I won't even watch the entire video. Which I like, you know, I want to remind you, he didn't watch the entire iDubbbz video. He runs the line and he watched every single second, every frame of the video, but he skipped like 15 minutes of it because he was like, "Oh, this is the cruise section. We're gonna skip right over that. That's not relevant. That's not important."
But because you needed a scapegoat, someone to absorb the blame you could never accept.
Ethan is a scumbag, genocide-denying, IDF simp, Israel defender. And don't try to tell me I only think that because he's Jewish. Nobody mentioned that, bro. You brought that up. I think that because he's a genocide-denying, IDF simp, Israel defender. He says, this sub fell off, man. It used to be about hating Ethan and supporting the crew. Motherfucker, I still watch H3 and subscribe, and I'm still a member because I love the crew. Zach is annoying, though. Now,
he watches
interesting
about him from start to finish. Did he? That's so funny.
This man loves everybody on the crew except Zach.
How you doing, comrade?
Now, again, I didn't bring up Judaism. That was something he brought up. But what does me and Zach have in common?
That's a good point.
That the other crew members don't have.
I wonder what that could be.
That guy's annoying, though. To be fair, I also don't like Dan either. Right? Like...
We are circumcised.
That's
we
true.
both have been
Although
bar
AB's circumcised. I know that.
Yeah. We both have been bar mitzvahed.
Oh, shit.
Oh, maybe it's just people that have bar mitzvahs, yeah.
Oh, I know. We're Jewish. Oh.
A few reasons, he said. It's ugly. They employ too many people for their size, and they produce far too many new pieces. Hila is cringe. Hila is also...
Jewish.
She's Jewish.
Yeah. Watch out for those Z's, Casey. And my name's Zach, so I got like a double Z.
You're Z, the Z man. This one.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, gee whiz. Hold on, I need a minute. This one left me speechless. At a certain point,
Hila is like the worst genocide defender of them all. And that's saying something, but Ethan Klein is also in the crew, you know?
Violence is the only reasonable response to oppression. Fika, you gonna do about it?
Like showing someone's lawn and return the next day to check on it? What? What? Okay, I don't even want to know. Don't even want to know.
And he puts a Hamas headband on love.
Yeah, I still stand by that one.
So that's my boy Northstar Radio, who is
I just said I don't want to know. Don't send any link. I don't want to know.
Snark user / obsessive freak who is making content that is biased against me. And also apparently he hates Jewish people.
That was the day my master plan began. The day you chose, publicly and proudly, to take on the role of defending the genocidal Israeli state and began smearing anyone who challenged you as a bigot. The day you set yourself on the path I had already laid out. That was phase 1 of your crash out.
A lot of people have been saying that this is the hot new phrase from the kids, crashing out. Hassan was on a stream.
Hot new phrase from the kids. That's where it came from, the kids. Actually, now that I think about it, this video also applies to Ethan. This one. So I watched the video last night, and maybe because I was stoned, but like he never explained how it was his master plan. Yeah, because it's a meme. He's not. Kamala Casey's not seriously being like, "Oh, I've orchestrated this entire thing," right? It's a meme to like get under Ethan's skin, kind of like how like Ben Panada does. So like, "Oh, I planned for this to happen," right? "Oh, I knew you would do this thing," or whatever. It's yeah. It's not like seriously like I planned this entire thing to happen.
I'm having a quote narcissistic crash out. I don't know what exactly that means, but people say, man, you must really lost your mind. And after some self-reflection, I want to say that
okay, why are we speaking in binary? What does that even mean? I don't get it. Is it a bit that I don't understand? What's with all the zeros and ones?
I apologize for nothing.
It wasn't easy at first. I was one of the first socialists you tried to discredit this way. One of the few you marked as an anti-Semite for daring to criticize you, long before you turned on Hassan. But I stood my ground, because the truth was worth fighting for.
And it seems to have like a new
joke on Ethan saying there's a secret Discord and coordination behind this team, the Discord and Reddit. Oh, maybe I'm just not involved in the secret binary meme code.
neutral title, but I think everybody noticed as they were watching
Yeah,
through
y'all
it.
get that super secret.
Even Hassan, I think, commented on it. This video is a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had watched it.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It is biased towards Hassan. It's all about how you kind of screwed everything up, and pretty much the core,
That's like saying like history is like biased against Israel, and how Israel is just like at fault for causing genocide. Like maybe because it's the truth, a little bit, you know. And if you don't like the fact that it's the case, maybe don't be the reason why things go badly.
videos that you became like a debate pervert who then challenged Hassan and lost.
Even Hassan was getting like frustrated watching it, and he was confused, and he was like, "This is fucking weird."
Yeah, Hassan didn't like the video at all, from what I recall. He thought it was weird, and the more it went on, the more he kind of like disliked it.
So when YouTube chat is saying,
"Oh, I gotta go. I gotta finish. I'll finish this tomorrow. I gotta do the podcast." Personal news wise, I ended the broadcast. We watched a YouTube video that was really good, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's by Comrade Casey in the chat, also known as, I believe, Northstar Radio. Is that what it is? Is that what his YouTube name is? I forget.
And just as I had predicted, you never truly respected Hassan Piker after ending Leftovers, no matter how much you pretended otherwise. You were simply waiting for a solid catalyst, an excuse to finally burn that bridge too. And when it came, you didn't hesitate. You denounced Hassan as a terror supporter, a communist propagandist, a raging anti-Semite. This was phase 2 of your crash out.
I did text him a couple weeks ago after I saw the clip of him saying that he had no problem with Hezbollah. I texted him that I thought it was pretty disappointing and disturbing the way that he was hyping up Hezbollah. In fact, we haven't spoken in a few months. We've spoken very little since the show ended. I've been taking these stupid little pot shots at him and Instagram stories and stuff. Something happened over the past few days that really fucking set me off and made me get determined to finally just do this once and for all. I am seeing a concerning rise in anti-Semitism and a normalization of it. I don't think Hassan is anti-Semitic, but I do think that stuff he does contributes to it. Most didn't call you a vicious anti-Semite.
Well, never say never.
Well, I think he's. I think he's.
You've definitely called him an anti-Semite many times.
Vicious is different. I think he propagates anti-Semitism. It made me think of this tweet from our wonderful Houthi pirate, the cute Houthi pirate that Hassan interviewed, and I remembered this tweet he put out. Just a cute tweet from our favorite Houthi. Same people telling me to kill myself love this guy, and that's true. They do. They love him. Hassan interviewed him. He hypes him up even as recent as like this week. This is a tweet he put out. The execution that we will carry out on all Zionists. This kid is a rampant anti-Semite and a violent Houthi terrorist. This kind of rhetoric, frankly, disgusts and scares me. People call me a Zionist. People call my wife a Zionist. It's my family. It's my children's life. And this is a guy who, someone who I considered a friend, is talking about how cute and funny and awesome he is. And here is Hassan, their darling creator, has tons of ads running on his channel, showing to his audience that Houthis are awesome. For whatever reason, I find a lot of anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, weird, obsessive harassment is pretty much 80% Hassan fans.
One day, Ethan will actually draw a distinction between anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. But alas, it's been almost 2 years and that day still has not come. But one day.
Nobody on the entire platform to call him out. Nobody. They've all been banned.
Hey, I call out Hassan all the time. See, this is disrespect. Put some respect on my name. If you're going to bring me up unprompted, which Ethan Klein does do, it's almost like he's obsessed or something, right? Let's be clear. I call Hassan out all the time. I call Hassan out today. Right? It's been 9 hours into Juneteenth and not a single Juneteenth post from Hassan, by the way. Not a single one. Nothing. Or Elwig, you're right. Nope, not a single Juneteenth post. Who else should be checked, chat? XQC. There's not gonna be one here either. Let's just see. Yep, not a single Juneteenth post once again. Cutie. Nope, not a single Juneteenth post. Crazy. Juneteenth isn't a thing in Quebec. You're wrong. You're just defending a racist. Check Senna. Nope, not a single Juneteenth post from Senna either. You have a post? My stream is my post. Caroline? Nothing. Not a single Juneteenth post. You know what? To be fair. Also, I did see, okay, I saw a funny.
I just voted for.
I saw a funny thing this morning, which is I'm going to put up for my post. Let me see if I can find it. I was scrolling through my YouTube homepage and I saw this. This showed up just completely organically today on my homepage. This is going to be my post. Watch it? Sure.
Nigga. 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 Noun. Definition: respelling of nigger, typical.
Whoa! 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 That was completely unnecessary.
Typically representing urban African American speech.
Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to get more free learning resources.
I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. That's crazy. That's to be fair, it's in the to be entirely fair, it is literally in the thumbnail. I did not read the thumbnail. It is in the thumbnail. Okay. Well, let's That's crazy. That's about is wrong. There's 2 C's recommending. That's 2 M's. There we go. Tag YouTube. Shout out at YouTube for recommending me this video today. That's crazy. Here, we'll put a blackface too. Post. W.
Nigga. 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 Noun. Definition. Respelling of nigger, typical.
Whoa! 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 That's crazy. That is crazy. I feel like I should have had a warning or something. I should have had a warning or something. Here. All right, download this clip. I don't even know. Oh. Oh, I made it. This is the portrait version.
Nigga. Nigga.
I think I told you what it's gonna
Nigga.
do. I didn't think it would drop the hard R on me. Okay.
Noun. Definition. Respelling of nigger, typical.
Whoa! 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 That was completely unnecessary. Cool. Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, Ethan Klein. I was gonna say, how did we get here? But now it makes sense.
Have all been banned. Nobody. There is not a single dissenting voice with his fucking straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic, fucking pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic shit that is not normal. And it is the only acceptable voice on Twitch. Explain that to me. How is there not one dissenting voice on that entire platform?
I'm a dissenting voice, okay? Me. I am. Which is why Ethan Klein should be supporting me instead of tearing me down, a black man. You notice that, Chet? On the day before Juneteenth, the freedom day of my people, Ethan Klein was tearing me down. Can you believe that? Honestly, yeah, I can believe that. I thought he would want a dissenting voice. But no, he doesn't want dissenting voices on the platform. He wants dissenting white voices because he's racist. Confirmed. Yeah.
Platform. And this has really contributed to a lot of extremism being normalized. Is because young people are on Twitch, they go to Hassan and they think this is normal. And it's the only option. You can't even click over to someone else who's like, actually, this is why Hassan's wrong. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist.
Phase one was simple.
It does exist, and it's me. It's also kind of funny for Ethan to say this. It's because he also used me criticizing Hassan, both against me and against Hassan. So, like, he doesn't want, like, critique of Hassan. He just wants Hassan deplatformed. Again, you being a soundbite makes you the most heard Black Voice Industry pod this year, maybe ever. Probably.
Yeet. Bait the hook. get you to expose yourself. And you did, publicly, spectacularly. But phase 2, that was psychological. I didn't need to make you look bad anymore. I just had to make sure you felt ignored. That's why I told Hassan, don't respond. Don't give Ethan the fight he wants.
He's been shitting on you on his members only streams. I don't care. I don't care. Bro literally shat on you yesterday and his coworker for saying from the river to the sea, sorry dog. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. And neither should you. I personally don't even care if he's like calling me out or whatever. I heard that like people were saying that Ethan talked about me on his podcast today or some shit like that. I don't care. I genuinely don't care.
No matter how desperate you got, he stayed silent. Not because he was afraid, not because he didn't have a response, because silence was the response. And that silence drove you insane.
Hassan can't watch a single point I made. He just
political streamer. No. Right? Not even. He wants Hassan specifically deplatformed, right? This to Ethan isn't about Zionism. Zionism is like the gun, right? It's not the motive, right? He wants Hassan deplatformed because of his personal gripe and beef with Hassan, right? And he's using Zionism as a way to like get to that goal, right? To justify his campaign against him. But it's not because of Zionism, right? I think if Hassan, like, I think if Hassan's chat, right, if the Hassan community was nicer to Ethan after October 7th, this wouldn't have happened at all. He was just mad that he was being held accountable for a take that he was wrong on. I think it being something that he like ideologically believes in and he's invested in because his wife is Israeli. He's a dual American Israeli citizen. He lived in Israel for 5 years. I think it being emotional for him, it kind of serves that purpose, right? But I think if, he didn't feel attacked, he wouldn't care nearly as much. He would have just moved back on to goofs and gaffes. But he felt attacked by Hassan, why not both? It is a bit of both, is what I'm saying. It is a bit of both. But like, this would have happened regardless. If it wasn't this issue, it would have been a different issue. Right? When Kamala Harris eventually lost the election, like if October 7th never happened and Israel did not ramp up its genocidal campaign, and Kamala Harris inevitably lost the election to Donald Trump, it would have been that. It would have been something that Ethan Klein was wrong on and didn't want to compromise on. And so he felt attacked by Hassan's community. And then he goes on his entire campaign, right, to take down Hassan and any dissenting voices. It's whatever. It's because Ethan is like narcissistic. It's because he cannot handle criticism. That's what it is. And like, the genocide in Gaza is just what that issue was that got us to this point. Right?
just needs to fucking call me crazy and say I'm hallucinating. Zero accountability. That's so cowardly, man. At least watch it. Hassan, I'm sad to say, did not watch any of it. He didn't watch a single point I made. When I get criticized, I pull it up and I watch the fucking criticism. Hassan opens Comrade Casey tweets and snark posts and reads their interpretation of my video. The guy is such a coward, dude. He still has not responded. This man takes the opportunity to watch every single Ethan hate video on stream in its entirety. I don't think I've watched one hate video on Hassan because it's fucking pathetic. But he manages to do it every day, pretty much every Ethan hate video, of which we all know there's a lot.
You'd already burned bridges with Frogan, with me, with the Leftovers audience, and now Hassan was slipping away too. No matter how many times you baited him, he refused to acknowledge you. And the more he ignored you, the more irrelevant you felt, the more invisible you became. For a man like
I'm in the camp that Hassan should have responded earlier, because like Hassan responding and putting it to rest and then moving on, right, kind of did wonders. Now people just don't talk about what Ethan is doing anymore. Like I have less people coming. I still have people coming in here saying, "Oh, this Nicholas DiTorio made a video about you," or "This is what Ethan Klein said," or whatever. I still have that. It happened this morning, right? But like it just happens a lot less when there was this whole like back and forth thing going on, right? Where it wasn't back and forth. It was just Ethan like responding, trying to get a response. Hassan finally addressed it, and then we all moved on. I think it's a debate that stopped, in my opinion. That's literally what I'm describing. That's Hassan like addressing it head on. The debate mattered less. We're getting more Eli Damon posting about Hassan getting Hassan's attention now. Yeah.
You,
I think if it responded early, then anti-Semitism allegations would have been pushed sooner to people who hadn't seen how depraved Ethan had become, and the more people would have turned, or people would have just tuned out Hassan. I don't think that's the case. Also, how the IDUB started distracting him. Like Ethan is sitting at 25K concurrent instead of like 35K. Hassan should just continue ignoring him, starving him of content. I still don't think that will work because Hassan cannot starve Ethan of content until Hassan just stops producing content. Like a good example of that. Y'all remember Spit Dragon? That crazy H3 fan that was saying that black people were inferior. Like, that person's still making content about me, by the way.
Black says she's my African princess.
It's
Like, they're still like tweeting at me behind a block. They're still like, they're making new YouTube channels to at me in the title so that I see their content for their new YouTube channels. Like, right? But y'all haven't seen it because I haven't showed it to you. Right? But like me, and they will continue doing so until like I stop making content. So that's the goal of these like hate watchers, right? That's the goal of people like Destiny, like Ethan, right? Their goal is to push you off the platform. They're like, if I can make your life as, bad as possible, then, you'll put down this content thing. You think it won't be worth it. And I've achieved my goals, right? And so like Ethan will never like truly stop as long as Hassan is making content. But we can stop giving it attention so like at least nobody's paying attention to it. Right? Which is why I'm so hard on y'all again for showing me like different hate content, hate videos, right? Because if y'all don't come in here being like, hey, this shitter made a video about you, I don't see it. So stop doing that shit. Right? And I'll start banning you for doing it, by the way. Right? I've been giving you a lot of chances. Right? But like y'all coming in here being like, oh, Nicholas to Eat the Oreo made a video or mentioned you in a video. Like I don't care. I don't see this shit until y'all send it to me. Right? Or like people being like, oh, read the comments under your video or look at your Twitter replies. No, I don't. Like some of y'all need help. Y'all are so hopped up in the drama, especially when it's not like involving you, that like you give it more attention than it deserves. I don't see the shit until like y'all show it. The same way like Hassan doesn't see what Ethan Klein is saying until y'all bring it to him. I didn't even know he was dropping a nuke today until some of y'all in chat came and told me. And like, does it make your life better? Does it feed you? Are you getting paid more at your job now that you know that Ethan Klein is dropping a content nuke today? Do you have healthcare now? No, I don't think so. So stop doing that shit. It's just entertainment to them. I think that's a good sign that you didn't know. Because I am normal and I'm living my life. Right? And y'all should do the same. Y'all should do the same. Y'all should go about and live your life. You should not be like, oh, what did Ethan Klein say today? Right? Because even I had a period of time where I was doing that, but like I'm getting paid for this. Y'all are chatters. I think it was bad when I was doing that like a few months ago. And I was getting paid for it. This is my job. Like, y'all don't benefit from that. So stop doing that. Fair, we are watching a video that's clips of hate watching Ethan content right now. People can follow it without being obsessed or losing our connection with grass. Not really. Like, there's a difference between like, okay, let's see what's happening here, right? Okay, we got that. Let's move on. And to like that opposed to like, oh, this is what Ethan Klein like mentioned you yesterday or whatever, or you got like a 2-second cameo in this like Nicholas to Eat the Oreo video. Oh, Turkey Tom made a video and your picture was on the screen at this. Like chill. Like genuinely, I just like it's not mentally good for you. It's just not. Right? So like you become the audience. Hate watching still adds a view. It goes to like my hate watchers as well. Like hate watching still adds a view. You're still rewarding Ethan Klein for crashing out. It's like the concept of like all press is good press. Right? You sharing Ethan Klein clips around, right? Watching the entire VOD to get like a snippet of like, oh, this is what he said here, this is what he said there. Like, he benefits from that. And would it not make sense to do that instead for creators that you enjoy? Like, if you like Hassan, why not just do that for Hassan? And clip out parts that you enjoy about Hassan's content. Right? At least you can also get paid. People have been paying for their college by doing that for Hassan. Like, do that instead. That's my take.
And who lives for reaction, for engagement? That was unbearable. But while Hassan stayed silent, he wasn't blind. I made sure of that.
Anyway, this is Ethan Klein and the rise of liberal Islamophobia.
Before you ever released the content nuke, I compiled every deranged thing you'd said in defense of Israel.
Slumpy Space Prince, thank you for the 10-month resubscription. Much appreciated.
The things you thought no one had noticed, and put them into a single video. Hassan watched it. For the first time, he saw what you really were.
Frankly, there are a lot of Palestinians, right, in the area. And once the Palestinians outnumber the Jews, basically...
Like, this is just great replacement. You understand that, right?
It's going to be a secular country? You mean Hamas, the Islamic fundamentalist group?
I haven't seen this video.
Like, I think calling out stuff like this, right, is important. But there's a difference in calling out stuff like this and being like, oh, did you see Ethan Klein's like new tattoo or whatever? Right? Which is why I'll tell you, like, no, I don't care about stuff like that. I care if Ethan Klein is doing like great replacement theory, right? Or he's defending genocide. And I don't care about his shitty tattoo. Right? And some of y'all need to decouple that in your mind. Because I think some of y'all are thinking that those are the same thing. Some of y'all think that those are the same thing in your mind. Like Ethan Klein doing great replacement theory, right, deserves the same reaction as like, or Ethan Klein's tattoo deserves the same reaction as like Ethan Klein doing great replacement theory. You know? It's funny tattoo though, to be fair. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I don't care. I don't. Genuinely. I do not care in the slightest. I care that Ethan Klein is like defending genocide. Right? And I think there's a reason why Hassan didn't take it seriously for as long as he did. I think part of it was like he didn't want to He didn't want to, like, take it seriously. But then the other part of it is that y'all come across as unhinged. On Twitter the other day, I saw people getting mad at him for yelling about a muffin or something. I'm like, we're lost in the sauce right now. And I'll look at it and be like, he's yelling at a muffin. That's, not a funny bit. But like, it's not at all treated as if it's the same thing, right? As like him defending genocide. They don't deserve the same reaction. Hassan doesn't need to see the shitty tattoo. Right? You can laugh at the shitty tattoo. You can be like, haha, this shitty tattoo. Right? But you don't have to go to Hassan's chat and be like, Hassan, did you see the shitty tattoo? Hassan, did you see Muffin Gate? Like, that's kind of the issue and the problem, is that they're treated like it's the same thing.
I don't even know where this is from, but this is a ridiculous video.
By the way, segregation is not real. There's 20% of the population in Israel is Palestinian, full citizens, integrated in all levels of work.
I'm beginning to realize that I just assumed that he wasn't doing straightforward pro-Israel propaganda, because this right here is just straight up Hasbara.
But still, he didn't respond. That was the brilliance of it. He waited. And as the silence dragged on, the pressure built until you finally cracked.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weasley little fucking liar.
It's that big of a deal. There's always some unhinged parasites with chatters. No need to give them attention. I will talk about what I so choose to on my stream. And I will call out chatters, and I will tell y'all to stop doing shit that y'all are doing.
He's just straight up lying. He's just
also, no, I'm not clicking on your shitty link. I don't care what the link is. I don't care. I'm not clicking on it.
Lying right now. In fact, this is a lie that he keeps saying, is that I'm somehow aligning myself with Keemstar.
You not only continued framing Hassan as some kind of communist terrorist sympathizer, but pushed the narrative harder, louder. You weren't just lashing out anymore. You were building a case, a manifesto.
Any laws that we can go after Hassan for? Are you familiar with that? Has he broken any domestic terror laws, or probably not domestic terror laws, but like inciting? I mean, what can we do about that?
Because you thought if you laid it all out, if you compiled every petty
knew that for a long time that Ethan Eli were doing Hasbara and tried to tell Hassan, and he ignored it. Which is why and again, the problem with that is that, again, I think part of it was that Hassan didn't want to see it, which is true. But another part is that, again, Hassan had a view of snarkers that, like, they care about, like, erroneous shit, you know? Like, freaking his tattoo or whatever. They're equated in the minds of, like, the snarkers. So you simultaneously have people say Ethan's doing Hasbara and Hassan doesn't want to see it, right? On top of people be like, oh, also Ethan got a shitty tattoo, and Hassan's like, I don't care about that tattoo or whatever. You know? Like, and so it's all put under the umbrella of like the same like erroneous, not useful or relevant things, which is why I say pick your battles. Right? Pick your battles.
Grievance, every distorted memory, every talking point into one massive piece of content, you could force him to engage. That was the birth of the content nuke.
Also, I have been teasing a work on a video I've been working on, or a special project, let's say. I have spent every waking moment on this project.
It's gotten to a point. Tattoo is objectively funny to laugh at, to be honest. It's not the best example, but fuck the tattoo. And fuck all of you who care about the tattoo. I don't care. That's the problem. Is you get your kicks off of like laughing at Ethan as opposed to like you're hate watchers. That's it. That you care more about Ethan being bad, and you will engage with more Ethan Klein content than you will about other people's content. Who cares about the tattoo? Nobody cares. Spend that time engaging with creators you actually like and enjoy. And if you don't have any, find some. Can I engage with you? No, you can't. You cannot.
And
except for when you take care of your kids, right?
I am in such a state of relief knowing that everything on my project is backed up. Nothing is going to stop this video from happening.
What I was going to say is that, like, it's gotten to a point where, like, Bad Empanada, and Bad Empanada is like the king of like what I'm describing, right, to a certain extent, and that is like just full-throated, you know, Ethan Klein this, Ethan Klein that, you know. Even Bad Empanada is like, I'm over this, and he made it a lot of his content over the last year and a half, right, about Ethan Klein and calling out Ethan Klein specifically, and even he's like, I'm done with this. And Bad Empanada was getting paid for it. Bad Empanada was like the most aggro against Ethan, and he was getting paid to do so. And so if Bad Empanada's tapping out, y'all gotta tap out too. You know what I mean? If Ethan's main op, Bad Empanada, who is getting paid to be an op, is tapping out, at that point, you gotta tap out. What more is there to glean from this man?
Spent way too much time on this to not make sure it's perfect in every way. So I've delayed the release again to next week. It's pretty much done.
It's definitely gotten stale. I think Bad Bananas will be more targeted about what he chooses to talk about. Because there were times where like Bad Banana would get into like tattoo gate as well. Being like, oh, you know, Ethan Klein got this tattoo or whatever. Which is why I didn't talk about it, because I thought it was freaking silly. Right? But I think that even he's like, okay, even that's too much. That's too far. We're going to talk about like important stuff. Right? Like, again, I'm not saying I'm never going to talk about Ethan again. Right? I'm never saying like, oh, you know, Ethan Klein is like off limits on the broadcast. But like, choosing what to talk about and what not to talk about, right, is important. It's so funny to make fun of him, though. For what? To what end? Okay, you shit on Ethan Klein. What then? What now? Like, to what end? I didn't think that far ahead. Like, what do you gain? Because what Ethan does, so they think it should be reciprocated, but it should not be. But just from your own, especially getting more entertaining. To what end? Like, are you sitting in your Discord being like, haha, this is what Ethan Klein did today? Again, I think you need hobbies, chatter. I'll be serious. I'm being serious. I think you need hobbies. I think you need hobbies. I think you need to find creators that you enjoy to watch, as opposed to creators that you enjoy the downfall of. Right? You need to find content that you enjoy to consume, as opposed to, you know, content like from people you don't like. Right? And it may not be me. It may not be Hassan. It may not be Denims. It may not be Mike. It may not be Frogan. It may not be Items. It may not be Bad. I don't know. It may not be these creators. Right? But find something that you enjoy doing. Right? Because all you're doing by like spending all of your time hate watching Ethan, right, is you're reinforcing Ethan. You're still in view. Right? You're still sharing his clips out there. It's not all my time, though. It's too much of your time. It should be none of your time. Why does it matter? Watching it through you, and that's the problem. If you're watching this stream only to get your fix of Ethan Klein, go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. Which there are chatters who do shit like that, right? If you come here to get your fix of Ethan Klein and then you just go to Denim's stream to get your fix of Ethan Klein. And then when Hassan talks about it, you go to Hassan's stream to get your fix of Ethan Klein. And then you go to Banana Banana to get your fix of Ethan Klein. Go somewhere else. And then, but before doing any of that, reevaluate your life. Reevaluate your life. Why is that what you are doing? Why is that what you want your output on life to be? Like, at that point, like, therapy needs to get involved at some point, right? There is an importance and usefulness in talking about Ethan Klein from a perspective of, like, this is Hasbro. This is how Hasbro like, masquerades itself as content, which is what I try to do, right? Okay, but doesn't that logic extend, and all of us wasting our time on Twitch in general or playing video games and not going out and doing real things? Not really, no. Again, which is what I'm describing, right? I try my best to talk about Ethan Klein for a reason, right? To be like, this is what Ethan is doing so that you all in my audience can see what Ethan is doing, right? And absorb that and identify that when other people are doing it. Which is why I think there's a purpose to that, right? Whether I'm doing it, or Denims is doing it, or Hassan is doing it, or Mike is doing it, or Banana Banana is doing it, right? There's a purpose to doing that, right? But when your content is literally you watching the H3 stream, or you watching Asmongold, it doesn't just stop with Ethan, right? You watching Turkey Tom, you watching Nicholas to eat the Oreo, right? And you watching all of this content just to see them talk shit about somebody, and then you taking that to that streamer being like, Hassan, did you see what Asmongold said about you? Or Tectone. People being like, oh, did you see the Tectone was shipping you in Denims? Why do you know that? Why do you know that? And why would I care? Do you see what Turkey Tom had to say about you? No, and I don't care. Do you see what Destiny said? No, and I don't care. I don't care. Because I only see the shit when y'all bring it up. I don't spend my time going out of my way to see what people are saying about me. I don't. And I get enough of that from the haters who come in here in the first place. So your time could be better spent and more useful, right? Engaging with the content you enjoy as opposed to hate watching another creator. I promise you it would be better. I promise you it would be better. I will always say Sean Black is so hot. True. Have you would understand how you can not care what people think of you?
But I want all the time that I need to go over every minute of this nearly 2-hour-long odyssey in what's probably, no, not probably, it's my biggest project I've ever done in my long YouTube career.
This is my first project like this in so long, Dan. And the world is waiting.
But what you didn't realize is that was my plan all along. I wanted you to crack. I wanted you to.
Because someone in my life is getting their opinions from them, so I watch them. Watching them might provide insight. No, that's why you watch Hassan, like legitimately. Like, and even then, if you do that for that reason, that's one thing, right? That's one thing, right? But you don't need to then take that shit to be like, oh, did you see what Asmongold said here? Oh, did you see this newest thing from this person? Right? Or did you see this person mentioned you in this way?
To gather all your worst takes, your flimsiest arguments, and your pettiest grievances into one massive public self-own. Because I knew that once you did, once you pushed all your chips in, that's when the real spiral
you do
would...
bother streamers that you hate so much and not give them views and attention? Exactly. Like, and that's what Ethan Klein hated the most. Right? Which is why he's like continually like mentioning Hassan. He's not getting mentioned in the way he wants to anymore. Right? He's not getting the same attention that he wants. And so don't give it to him. But if you are going to give it to him, keep it to yourself. Like, Hassan doesn't need to see this is what Ethan Klein had said this morning or whatever every single day.
Begin. And you walked right into it.
The solution to that would always be education and offering more
re-education?
Re-education, certainly, yeah.
If putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough, I started to notice that Hassan was carrying a lot of...
First of all, where did he say that? Oh my God, where did he say that? Second of all,
capitalists in re-education camp sounds kind of funny. Be like, oh, you like
why is this
private ownership of the means of production? You're going back to school. You know, I'm pro education. Right? I do think that in kindergarten, if you're doing a sharing is caring lesson and you have freaking Tony, 5-year-old, Tony, 6-year-old Tony, who's like, I'm not going to share. I think it's important to understand why he doesn't want to share. Right? And say, hey, Tony, this is why sharing works and is important.
high school video projects. Everybody, you need to go home and make a YouTube video. All right.
They've also set up landmines in agricultural spots, making the fields virtually worthless.
That's an interesting claim, isn't it? So let's check that out. You can immediately tell there's something weird here because it's like citing the Yemen army saying this.
There is especially with this content, there is a usefulness in debunking this, if you will. Right? Again, I'm not saying that like there's no usefulness in talking about Ethan, right? But it's talking about Ethan with a purpose. You feel me? It's what can you glean from this debunking, if you will, instead of just Ethan is bad.
And the Yemen army is the deeply unpopular Yemeni government that basically the entire country rebelled against. Let's look up this outlet. Who is Arab News? Arab News is an English language newspaper published in Saudi Arabia, and it is owned by Turki bin Salman Al Saud, the brother of the ruling crown prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. This is Ethan Klein's source. A Saudi government propaganda outlet. This is one of the greatest minds of our time, clearly.
The content nuke was supposed to be your magnum opus. Nearly 2 hours of self-pity, delusion, and projection. A desperate attempt to force the world...
using the drama as a jumping off point to actual political discourse. Yeah. But you also realize that Noah is like also not dropping videos on Ethan Klein right now, I'm pretty sure. Right? Because we've entered a state where it's outlived its usefulness. You feel me? Like there's not much more to be said about this. I think this video could have actually came out like later as like a retrospective of Ethan Klein. I think it's a bit early for a retrospective. Specifically because he is still crashing out.
And especially Hassan to finally pay attention. And in a way, it worked. You got the attention you craved, but not the kind that brings validation or victory. You got the kind that brings reckoning.
The nuke part 2. I mean, sure, but again, I think if that's the case, it gives attention to nuke part 2 that I don't think is productive. You know?
Once the nuke dropped,
move on to someone else, or will he just stop talking about Hassan? I don't know. don't understand why Casey is framing it in the way where he did all this. It's a meme, I think. It's like it's like a I'm in your walls, Ethan kind of thing. It will never end. That's not true. It will end.
Everything that had been simmering boiled over. Hassan finally responded, not with indifference, not with mockery, but with pure rage. The silence you mistook for weakness had only sharpened the blade, and when it came down hard.
You literally have an intellectual disability if you think that, like, I am fearful of watching an hour and 40-minute video made by a dude who literally thought Roe v. Wade was the gay one last week. When I'm watching children get mutilated every goddamn day, I think it's a pathetically selfish way to approach that conversation from the personal feelings of a rich 100 millionaire sitting in a Bel Air mansion talking about his own goddamn feelings. God damn, how selfish, how delusional, how stupid to just like think that anyone outside of your marginal cult that you have whittled away over and over again is going to look at the situation and go, yeah, you know what, dude, you are actually right. You've totally convinced me that baby murder, unlimited baby murder is all right now, actually. That like people who...
Ethan Klein has a lot of money. They're richer than Hassan is. Like, no question.
Call that sort of behavior out are all seemingly radical Islamist extremist terrorists who I will assume are being funded by Qatar.
You didn't just lose a debate. You lost the last shred of credibility that allowed people to take you seriously. But the fallout didn't end there. It couldn't, because that was only the beginning. Your housekeeper sued you, and CPS came knocking. Both entirely out of my hands, I should add. If I had to guess, that was your estranged housekeeper settling some unfinished business.
My former housekeeper, Elizabeth, her name's in the complaint, filed a lawsuit for, I think, the charge is wrongful termination. Her allegation is that she needed time off to get her hernia treated, and then we just fired her. This morning, we got a visit from Child Protective Services.
Reddit completely turned on you, which was entirely me.
There's like this faux moi, there's YouTube drama, there's snark, and now I even started seeing it on this subreddit. There was an attempt that seemed to all be somehow run by these people, and it's come to the point where it's just like...
Honestly, this was the one of the funniest parts of the entire crash out thing. And that's just like Reddit's trying to take me down or whatever. Like, I will say, if I had to contextualize this, the faux moi YouTube drama time frame of Ethan Klein was like the best time frame because it kind of showed the internet was against him. But then YouTube drama stopped all mention of Ethan because it was getting too political. And then faux moi kind of moved on. Right, but like I don't see, like, there's just not much more to say about Ethan, because it's the way I view it is that if somebody doesn't see Ethan for like what he is at this point, like I don't think they ever will. Like, there's not like a thing that where there's not like a thing that Ethan can do to be like, okay, now he's a racist. I guess if he just dropped the hard R again, they made mention of him after like 2 weeks because H3 sub was brigading them nonstop. The subreddits move on unless some other drama pops up like every few months. I mean, YouTube drama bans mentions of him. I think it's still pinned on YouTube drama. You can't mention the Ethan Hassan thing.
Completely non-stop, relentless. The harassment that me and Ela are receiving is just genuinely unfucking comparable.
I'm seeing people
also like the content nuke didn't work. Right, and so it, like, I can understand it sucks seeing Hassan drug through the mud with like attempts to smear his character, but like it just didn't work. So like another reason why I just like don't really feel the need to like relitigate what's going on there. It's just because it didn't work, and I don't think the content nuke part 2 is going to work either. Right, articles are still going to be written about Hassan. They're still going to be, he's still going to get positive press. Like, part 3 would get him for sure. Fortunately, there's a lot of people a lot of people like his new opinions about Hassan and what's going on in Israel. Chad, you're talking about like online people, right? Who cares what like online Reddit viewers or Reddit perusers are saying about Hassan, right? That's not going to affect Hassan to any meaningful degree. What will is the media attention, right? What will is the way he's portrayed in like NBC News, right? Is one from today about Hassan or iDubbbz? I don't know. I have no idea. Literally no clue.
Say, I'm looking into it right now real quick, but that these subs all share common mod.
Yes, Reddit is fucking sleeping at the wheel. This shit that they're allowing is so fucked. They have the same moderators on all of these fucking huge subreddits that are just weaponized harassment. There has to be a way to hold Reddit accountable. At this point, I can't even blame the snarkers. It's just they are enabling it, they're allowing it, and as far as I can tell, they are participating in it.
I mean, I practically begged Steve Huffman to watch what you were saying about him, and as soon as he did, it was over for you.
Where's Reddit headquarters? San Francisco?
Maybe do this after the show?
Well, I'm saying I'll go there and do a show in front of their fucking office. I'll do what I have to do. These people are fucking with my children. I will go and I will fucking stay there as long as I need to, and I will do the show in front of Reddit headquarters and dedicate every fucking episode to destroying every executive officer.
Chatter, that's the New York Post. No one takes the New York Post seriously.
There and dragging them to fucking hell. That's my point. I no longer
like when Ethan is mentioned in actual news publications, like they categorize him, like Ethan and Destiny, as insane people essentially, and that shows how ridiculous they are. Okay, like they say like, oh, Destiny, who was banned for his flagrant use of slurs and saying this thing about protesters or whatever on Twitch, said this or whatever. You know, they don't portray them like as like legitimately sane figures, because they're not.
Care, right? I don't care. I will drag these people into hell with me. That's what I'm saying I'll do. Go through every in detail of this dude's life.
Noah Samson released a video dissecting the nuke after I instructed him to, and in your usual fashion, you responded not with arguments, but with a lawsuit.
I don't know how many of you know who this guy Noah Samson is. He's a bread tuber, a lefty. I mean, he's like a revolutionary who's just waiting for someone else to start the revolution. He made now 2 videos calling me a genocide supporter, provided 0 evidence. I know he wants me to respond to every point in his video, which I will do in a much more formal setting.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
It's been like 2 months. Did this lawsuit ever come out? It's been like 2 months.
Some sort of symposium?
No, he said, well, he started his second video by saying, Ethan's threatened to sue me. It's not a threat. I'm going to sue you.
Oh.
I'm literally going to sue you for defamation.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
And I can't wait for you.
Also, that is a threat. Like, he's like, it's not a threat. I will sue you. He's like, it's not a threat, but also here's my threat of suing you. Right? It wouldn't be a threat if he said, it's not a threat. I have sued you. In which case, it's not a threat. But like, it's still a threat. Like you're threatening to sue him. That's what you're doing here.
You can do your cute little videos and all that kinds of business on your YouTube channel, but when it comes to, I'd love to see you.
Who knows?
Reason out in a court document about how I and Mudahar support genocide. I really look forward to that.
And just when it seemed like there might be a moment to breathe, iDubbbz released Content Cop H3, a clean, methodical dissection of your entire public unraveling. That was the final straw.
Well, what happened? There's more bad news?
I do have some more bad news for you. Your old friend iDubbbz just released a video.
Yeah?
It's about you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. That is no, it can't be. It actually can't be. Holy dude.
It sure is.
Oh my God. Holy
And from a quick scrub through, I think it's going to be a little spicy.
Oh my God! Like what? Why? What did I do to like fucking? What kind of fucking like, bro? What kind of cowardly bullshit is this? You bring on people who are fucking denims and Frogan? I actually can't believe that he did this.
And it wasn't easy convincing old iDubbbz to betray his old friend. I really had to go above and beyond to achieve such a feat. And that really was the cherry on top, the final catalyst of chaos in my master plan. All I had to do now was sit back and watch my child take his first steps. Faced with the collapse of your image, your reputation, and your authority, you reverted to the only strategy you had ever found success from. You returned to the debate stage, the place I had been dragging you towards this entire time, the stage you tried to meet me on, but I refused. You weren't ready.
You want to call in? I'll talk to Northstar Radio. Get on the radio. Let's talk. I want to know why you think I'm a Zionist. Go on.
KETA.
Maybe he has a better explanation than money and dating.
He probably does.
You told yourself that this was a battlefield where you had once held control, so you challenged Sam Seder, a friendly opponent.
Oh, by the way, update. Everybody has been raving, has been pushing for a long time. Hassan will not debate me, but he's been saying, you don't need to talk to me. Talk to approved Jew, sanctioned official Jew friend, Sam Seder. And after watching his crew disparage me for the 100 billionth time and just repeating like Hassan talking points mindlessly, I decided it's time to reach out to Sam Seder to set it up. We're going to finally have a clash of the Jewish minds. Two great Jewish minds, mano y mano.
Is it a clash? What happened?
I don't think it'll be a clash at all.
Someone you thought shared your views, but he didn't.
So let me show you an example of something, and again, I know you don't care about the drama. To me, this isn't drama. This is one of the biggest, most influential streamers spreading something that I think is really dangerous. And you can agree or disagree, but it's a short clip, but I'll show it to you, and you tell me what you think.
Any kind of fucking Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way.
And the sky is blue, chatter. Are we just stating obvious statements of fact?
As being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi, you shouldn't even let someone be the fucking local dog catcher, as Felix was posting.
Now, to me, that seems like extremely dangerous, dehumanizing language about what could arguably be 70% of the Jewish diaspora, and certainly probably people you know in your family.
Would I have said at any point in his life, someone's life? But I just think this is such a petty, like the idea that we're going to police. Hold on, let me respond. You want me to respond on this?
No,
I don't. Like I say, I don't care about this. But if you're going to force me to respond to it, what Israel is doing right now is so far beyond the idea that someone says any time in your life or not or whatnot. He's talking about Zionism.
Like it's kind of crazy to think about. Would you ever debate Ethan if he called you out? He won't, because he's a racist. Also, debate on what? His use of the N-word? His blackface? Like, I think Sam and Hassan did better than I would have done in this situation.
And frankly, I think it's
yeah, it's just not
very difficult for me to understand how
you are.
Someone
I mean, he does just bring me up unprompted, like more often than not. Like he has brought me up completely unprompted more often than he brought me up for a specific reason, you know?
Have positive feelings at this time. Now, you want to say in the past and what? Okay.
Yeah.
Like I say, I will grant you at any time in your life that is too broad a step. But wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
You go in and you're making this about anti-Semitism by doing this hopscotch
because
about.
He doesn't know you are yet is able to bring you to keep bringing you up. Yes.
A poll that people had positive feelings that Jewish people do, and then therefore he is anti-Semitic. And honestly, that type of conflation, I think, is so dangerous and so disingenuous. I don't want to get too passionate about this, but I will tell you something. I have had a guy who went to my bar mitzvah, my sister's bar mitzvah, my kid's bar mitzvah, sat at Passover with me 3 or 4 times, call my father and ask him if I'm anti-Semitic. Now, this is just one, that is just an example, an illustration of conflating when he's clearly talking about Zionism. Was it hyperbole to say any time in life, whatever? The fact of the matter is this conflation is dangerous for Jews. It is a fig leaf and a way of weaponizing anti-Semitism that has enabled Donald Trump to do the shit he's doing, that has enabled the slaughter of thousands upon thousands of children and women and men, for that matter. It is not keeping Israelis safe. And this type of conflation, Ethan, is what I find far more irresponsible, frankly, than the idea that he said positive any time. I mean, you do a show
Sam,
4 hours a day. He does a show 5 or, as far as I could tell, 15 hours a day. And to focus in on that one tiny clause.
This is not one tiny clip, Sam.
Well,
you don't know.
Wait
This is a totality of behavior.
But you
and by the way, it's easy. And I appreciate that you can hand wave it away and say that it doesn't.
No, I'm not hand waving it away.
Well, you kind of are.
I'm saying this
You're saying it doesn't. You're saying actually I'm wrong for caring about it.
No, yes. In fact, I'm saying this conflation is incredibly dangerous.
Frankly, I think it's dangerous to what I perceive as hand waving what's happening here. I know you said you aren't doing that.
I'm not hand waving.
You're doing the opposite. You're endorsing
decades of thought about this.
The point is, you're saying that this is not dangerous. How dare you care about this? I think it's dangerous
I'm not saying that at all.
I personally, I mean, Jewish people have a collective memory of trauma, Sam, and it starts a certain way. It starts with dehumanizing language, like saying you're not fit to walk a dog. I mean, what are we doing here?
He's not talking about
It's
Jews.
irresponsible language.
He's not talking about Jews.
He's talking about 73% of Jewish people.
No, you said that.
No, that's a poll that's readily available.
No, you made that connection. He did not.
So disgusting, bro.
Because
we have so gross. He's so gross. Like, now I is he still doing? I'm sure he is still doing this, but like from what I've seen, from like scrolling through Twitter and seeing clips, most of the clips are just about like, oh, this is what he said about this person. This is what he said about this person. Is he still talking about Israel? Oh wait, no, he was defending Israel against Iran. He did say, I did see a clip of him saying, no matter how bad you think Israel is, Iran is worse. I did see that. This was like how long ago was this? I don't remember actually.
Millions upon millions of members of Kufi. We have millions upon millions in this country of evangelicals who also believe the same thing.
Does your dad have?
You cannot say it's anti-Semitism.
Could you describe?
You cannot say it's anti-Semitism if you're also including millions upon millions, far more Christians than Jews.
Another thing is like to take it even further. I mean, Hassan pretty much like openly supports Hamas.
Let's not talk about Hassan.
He then moves on, which is kind of funny as well. Because Sam Cedar made just a good point. He's just like, well, let's go back to Hassan. Can we go back to Hassan, please?
No, there's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza.
There's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I just think that's interesting. It's pretty fucked up, don't you think?
Do I think it's fucked up?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I understand the point. Like,
well, I mean,
do you think anything would be standing anymore?
Well, bomb shelters are underground. I mean, they would definitely be a lot safer.
I've seen what happened to tunnels under hospitals.
Your statement is, so you say there were tunnels under hospitals?
Israel built the ones under the first one that they went into. They built it when they were occupying Gaza.
Are you right? That's true of that one. But I mean, they have a vast tunnel network, obviously, as everybody knows.
The performance was embarrassing.
Let's start with the little icebreaker here. I know we're both.
I love that his he just like said, you know, there's no public bomb shelters in Gaza. Isn't that crazy, right? And letting that sit there, and Sam was like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" His implication with that is by saying, oh, Hamas doesn't care about the Palestinian civilians because they didn't build any bomb shelters in Gaza. Which is like, even if I was to give Ethan that entire argument, who's dropping the bombs? Even if, yes, Hamas is super bad and they don't care about Palestinians because they're not building any public bomb shelters, right? Who's dropping the bombs? Yeah, why would they need bomb shelters? For what reason? I wonder. I was just curious. That was great. He's so used to giving, first have an argument and letting it autocomplete. Sam was like, okay, yeah.
Fans of Tim Pool, okay? Let's just enjoy.
The bomb shelters in Tel Aviv are turning away Palestinians living in Israel. I also saw a video. Did y'all see the video, chat? About settlers who are locking other settlers out of bomb shelters. Not for you. Israeli shelters exclude Palestinians as bombs rain down. Remember how Ethan was saying, "Oh no, there's no segregation. There's no segregation. There's, you know, there are Arabs that live in Israel. They're equals." Sure, yeah. This is what happens in an equal society. Yeah, 20%, by the way, all the same, by the way, yeah. Shelters are a lifeline in Israel from Iranian missile attacks, but Palestinian civilians of the country have been locked out. But they're equal. But Ethan Klein told me they were equal. Yeah, this is what I saw. Settlers are now locking out other settlers out of shelters to keep them from getting crowded. Bro, look at her smile. Look at how happy she is. It's crazy. That I don't even know what to say about that.
This image together. Tim Pool recently at a wedding.
Wait, what?
And can you see? Can you see that?
Did he get married?
Well, I think he's attending a wedding.
Okay.
And he's very
Is he
formally
stalling?
dressed, except he appears to be wearing a beanie.
I would. I'm aware of his
filibustering!
beanie attachment.
Bro!
So I don't know.
Speaking of the filibuster, whatever happened with Cory Booker's 25-hour filibuster? What came of that? And why is he not doing that now, currently? To like protest, I don't know, like ICE and ICE raids and things of that nature. He pulled his book? Oh, that makes sense.
Are you filibustering the
Fine look for our
conversation?
good friend
Lot
Tim
of white
Pool
moms
there.
make
But you
fans. I don't
assured
really-
yourself it was a fluke. Your next performance would be far better because you came prepared. You had your content nuke pulled up on its own tab, ready to fire whenever necessary. But it wasn't a fluke because your next debate, the one with Hassan, was also a disaster I designed.
Hello, everybody. It's your host, Ethan Klein. It's the H3 Show. The date is the 2nd of May, and it is the...
Later, Miles on CBS. That's cool. You think Maya's too big for me now to go to Alveus?
Finally this morning, the outcome is not always good when a wild animal is injured or an
Yes.
illegal
Don't
pet.
say that. It makes me sad. Maybe. No, you're supposed to say no. This is the perfect time. Yes, but ask anyway. Stop.
Confiscated. But thanks to a group of Gen Zers and their unique social media stream,
Maya's not Gen Z. Stolen valor. Wait, hold on. Maya's Gen Z, I think? No, she's not. She is? No shot. Okay, I need to... $1998. $1996. Oh. Never mind. My apologies. Bro, me and Maya are exactly the same. We're the same. We're both mid wait, no. I'm early 20s. She's mid 20s.
many of these animals have found a new home. CBS's
Just
Karen
called her
Hua has the
old?
story.
The term is wise. I called her wise, okay? You actually mid-20s? No, I'm early 20s. I'm early 20s. She's no, I guess she is late 20s. You're right. I'm early 20s for like 4 more months. She's never letting you go to Vegas now, dude, sending the clip. I just assumed that she was older because she's so wise, right? That's what it was. Nope, never getting on Vegas. Stop. Don't take this away from me, chat.
From Austin, Texas.
Old? What do you mean I'm old? You ain't 24, you ain't early 20s, you're on time 20s. Mod's being that guy. I'm early 20s, right? What is the midpoint between 20 and 30, chat? What is the midpoint between 20 and 30? 25. That's right. And I'm 24. I am earlier than the midpoint, which means I am early 20s. 24 is mid? No, it's not. I thought Sean was 29. Ethan said that. Wait, Ethan said I was 29? I don't believe that. $20-23 is mid. 24-27 is late. 28-30 is pushing 40. That's crazy. I said again in a few months. No, in a few months, I will be mid-20s, and I'll accept that. But right now, I'm early 20s. 24-26 is mid-20s. That's not true. It's simple, chat. Let me explain this to you with a calculator. Let me see. Calculator. I'm 29. What does that mean? It means you're in your late 20s, chatter. Here, right? This is 20.
Titus 0212 just subscribe.
This is 30. Right? Now, if you do a little bit of math, you can find the midpoint by averaging the numbers. 20 plus 30 divided by 2 equals 25. 25 is the midpoint between 20 and 30, easily. Right? Which means this is mid-20s. Objectively. This is objectively mid-20s. Which means this here, which is 24, right, is before mid-20s, right? So it's pre-mid. also known as early. True. As a 23-year-old, I agree. Thank you. Exactly. You're saying this now, but remember that in 1.5 years, people are going to call you late 20s because of your own logic, and I'll have to eat that. I'll have to accept that. You know? Once you hit 26, I'm sorry. Don't know what to tell you, but you're a post mid, which also equals late. Chat, if you are scheduled to work at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you show up at 9:01, what are you? Let's say it together. You are late. Exactly. And if you're scheduled to work at 9 a.m. and you show up when? At 8:59, you are what? Early. Exactly. Exactly. By your logic, true mid is in 25 exactly. Not even a second in 25, 24, 26 is mid. The categories are man-made. You're wrong. You're incorrect. Then when are you mid? At exactly your birthday at 12 o'clock for that specific instance. You're mid-20s. Right? But if you want to be fair, you want to give some people some time, you can round it to be that entire year. You know what? I'm fine with that. Right? But to me, this is objectively, definitionally, that's the only mid point. I'm putting this clip when you're 27 trying to argue that you're mid-20s. I won't do that because I'm consistent. I mean, when you're mid to work, I mean on time to work at 9 o'clock exactly. So mid only lasts 365 days, potentially.
Texas.
So this is our marmoset enclosure. Oh, there he is. At 20.
Mid-20s implies there's more than one mid-year. No, it doesn't. It just implies that there's multiple instances within that time frame where you're mid. And you're mid-20s from when you're 25 in one day and to 25 in 364 days. You're all mid-20s. Anyway, so let's focus on this. Focus, chat. Jeez Louise.
So this is our marmoset enclosure. Oh, there he is. At 26.
Also, I can just ask Maya this, by the way. Also, I thought Maya was 27. I was lied to. I can ask Maya, does Maya consider herself a Zoomer? You just wanted anyone to call Maya old? I would never. Maybe I thought Cutie was so much older. How old is Cutie? $31? I don't comment on women's age.
Maya Higa is the Gen Z Jane Goodall. From injured birds to abused animals to confiscated illegal pets, she's rescued hundreds of critters from around the country. At her nonprofit, Alvea Sanctuary outside Austin, Texas.
I need to ask Maya if she considers herself Gen Z. I genuinely need to know. Ask. She does because she is. I'm curious. In love against 29, problematic age gap. True. She's gonna say, of course I do. I'm 27, consider myself zillennial. Exactly. See, there's a nuance here. My brother's also 20. Wait, how old is my brother? 26. He's old. He's old. Maya is Gen Z with millennial attitude / friends, in my opinion. Okay, I asked her. Now only time will tell.
Teaches visitors about these.
Still Gen Z? I'm a millennial and I'm 25 because I have older millennial siblings. That's not how that works. Okay, let's be real. You can only consider yourself a millennial if you are 26 and above. Know what? Yeah. If you're here, you're firmly Gen Z territory. You're firmly Gen Z territory. You gotta eat that. You gotta hold that. Nah, it's 25 plus. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right? If it's 25 plus, then I would be a zillennial because I turned 25 this year. Right? And I was born in 2000. I think zillennial, you can only be zillennial if you were born before 2000. You have to have been born before 2000. If you remember 9/11, you are a zillennial. Let's ask ChatGPT. No. So if your birthday has a 19 in it, then maybe you can be considered zillennial. Maybe. Right? That's it. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, Maya is zillennial. You are not. I never said I was zillennial.
Unique animals.
Anyways, let's focus on this Twitter clip. We went on a whole tangent about what is and what is not Gen Z.
Finally this morning, the outcome is not always good when a wild animal is injured or an illegal pet confiscated. But thanks to a group of Gen Zers and their unique social media stream, many of these animals have found a new home. CBS's Karen Hua has the story from Austin, Texas.
So this is our marmoset enclosure. Oh, there he is.
At 26, Maya Higa is the Gen Z Jane Goodall. From injured birds to abused animals to confiscated illegal pets, she's rescued hundreds of critters from around the country. At her nonprofit, Alvea Sanctuary outside Austin, Texas, she teaches visitors about these unique animals. But this isn't a public zoo. You can only visit online.
I don't know if we've ever seen before, is the animal sanctuary all virtual and all funded from donors from around the world.
Higa streams live on Twitch, the social media platform most commonly used for video games.
We call
They
it
just show YouTube chat. Hey, put some respect on Twitch chat.
hiding the broccoli here.
Look who it is! Our first guest!
Lessons on conservation, education on exploitive trades, hidden inside fun demonstrations.
They can't live in the wild. Their options are either, unfortunately, be euthanized or stay here and teach people.
With 24/7 cameras in every enclosure, Alveus gets about 30 million online visitors a year, likely more than if they were open to the public.
You can watch them eat, you can watch them interact with their enrichment and toys and stuff.
Now, the sanctuary has grown to 11 staff, some who specialize in nutrition, others who edit videos and monitor Twitch. It's what advocacy looks like in the digital age.
Getting young people involved in that is so important, and it's the only way that our natural world stands a chance.
So for now, this is a special sanctuary for friends like Siren here, but they're hoping to double in size in the near future. I'm Karen Hua, CBS News, Austin, Texas.
Finally this morning,
I was muted. But super cool. W. Maya, friend of the show. No, that's right. Maya should be getting more profiles, not this Hassan guy, whoever he is. Also, why is Hassan live so early? Okay, why is he encroaching on my time? What are we doing here? We had an agreement, we had a deal, right? 7 to 11, it's me. Then he can have the time or whatever. Also, it's freaking Juneteenth, dog. It's Juneteenth. Now, if I open up this stream and I don't see Juneteenth celebrations, I'm gonna go crazy.
With what the hell was going on with Jay?
Okay, there's a black person on the screen.
Those of you who don't know,
not even in the title. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll fix this. I'll fix it. Juneteenth. Hashtag shout out at Sean the Black. Oh wait, it didn't even work. There we go. As it should be. Juneteenth spelled incorrectly because I can't spell. Hashtag shout out at Sean the Black. W. Anyway.
And Jason, who sometimes does girl content, that's what they call it. The new meta, which is the old
His Instagram story, he gets 1/4 of a W,
which is pretty.
I'll be the judge of that.
Overall, but also creates a lot of emotional investment in the audience. Myself, fucking.
Oh, he's talking about the Jason stuff. Hold on.
As a 33-year-old whole ass adult, I found myself watching clips and following through on the back and forth of these people that I kind of know. You know what I mean? Like the people that I know, people that I kind of know. You know, I don't really know.
Okay.
Got a lot to talk about today, obviously.
Yesterday.
Folks, it finally happened. Israel finally found a hospital not worthy of being bombed. This time it was in Israel with Iranian rocket fire. We're going to be talking about the hypocrisy of the media coverage on Israeli hospitals being bombed by Iran versus the entire medical infrastructure being destroyed in Gaza, where Israel kept celebrating the explosions of all hospitals in Gaza, including even the hospital Israel struck in Iran.
Does he do this every day? I don't use Instagram.
We'll talk about that double standard, of course. Donald Trump has changed his position back and forth over and over again, denying reports from Wall Street Journal that said that he gave the A-OK to strike Iran.
Bro, this is yapping. How long is this video?
Iran, the nuclear facility Fordow. We'll talk about where that event is heading. The Iranian-Israeli conflict is intensifying.
It's not your stream.
Israel is vowing revenge. We already know what that means. Are they running out of air defenses? All that and more. Get in now. Let's get started. We'll also talk about the attacks against Zohran Mamdani on the final days of the New York mayoral Democratic primary.
He did put Juneteenth in the caption. He didn't say it though. Kind of mad disrespectful. Long
awaited leftovers reunion. How nice. We're back together.
Anyway, let's finish the video off. We're almost done.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Hassan Piker.
Hello, Hassan Piker.
What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a debate. What about you?
That's what I'm doing as well.
Every argument fell flat. Every talking point exposed your ignorance and desperation. The authoritative commentator you imagine yourself
the debate
to
should have been done on neutral grounds with a neutral third party. I feel like it could have worked with Dan, but Dan is just not neutral enough. Like if Dan actually played the role, I actually stood up to Ethan, it would have been better. But like Hassan having to like go through Dan to get his clips to be played, and for Dan to be like, listen, I sent it over to Ethan. He decides whether or not they get played or not. It's dumb because like Ethan's like, Dan, play this clip, and it's Dan's job to play the clip, right? But like when it comes to Hassan saying Dan, play this clip, Dan's like oh well, I told Ethan and I gave it to Ethan, so you know, it's on Ethan. It's not on me anymore. There needs to be a third party where it was either nobody gets any clips or, you know, you both get clips played.
be was gone, replaced by someone grasping for relevance while the entire internet watched, disgusted.
You seemingly have a lot of grievances not pertaining to the actual issue at hand.
I don't know. The issue, my friend, the issue at hand is your behavior.
No, I think the issue at hand is the genocide.
Well, we seem to be coming at this from two different angles, which is great.
What?
What? You don't know what I'm talking about?
What is?
What? Yeah, it was on the list. You're lying.
Yeah. I got a free Rolex hat from a friend of mine. I still wear it every now and then.
Yeah, and you're so... Oh, wow. Who knew?
What? Destiny?
What?
Ethan, I don't think
Hassan?
I didn't bring up Destiny. You did.
By your authority, I will decide who's hallucinating. Hassan? Want to do propaganda, remember?
Ethan.
Hassan. Please, calm down. You're getting worked up.
I don't know why you're behaving in such a childish manner. Ethan, I don't think you want to go down this route.
Really? Which ones?
The book that I'm referencing is from the Iron Wall.
All right, listen, it's 5 o'clock. Like I said, I have a family to go to. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I know that you have a fucking cool-ass race car bed to sleep in, and I hope you enjoy that.
Okay, man. Thank you. Have a good one. I hope this was productive. Dan, he needs...
I just said, yeah, LOL, I'm 27. Okay, fair. Fair. That's fair. Maya is a Gen Zer.
Needs you more than you need him. Stop babying this man, please. He needs you more than you need him. Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on.
Leaving many fans still holding on by a measly thread to purge you of any and all existence in their lives.
My name is Kara. I'm a Fallen Age 3 fan, as you would call it. I used to consume...
Maybe it's because, like... Okay, you know what it is, chat? Let me explain. It's COVID. It's COVID. It's COVID. The 3 years of COVID is like, we were all sucked into a time vortex. And so that time doesn't exist. Right? So I assume that everybody is like 3 years younger than they actually are. Or sorry, 3 years older than they actually are. Younger. I don't remember. See, that's the problem. It feels like it messed up my sense of time. And so like I'm almost mid-20s. I'm not mid-20s right now, but I'm almost mid-20s. That's probably crazy. And so when people are 27, I just assume like, oh, 27? That's like, that's like a millennial age. But like, nope. Millennials are like 33 now. It's like 1995, right? Yeah, they're like 30. 30 is the cutoff for millennials. Like, that's crazy. Like, Hassan is 2 years off of being a Gen Zer. Does that not sound crazy to you? Right? Hassan is 2 years off of being in Gen Z. That just doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Maybe I don't pretend he's a grandpa. I remember when millennials were teenagers. So did I. Because like those were like my cousins. Now they're like having kids and stuff. No, now there are Gen Z people. I have friends who have kids. Who have like little baby 2-3-year-olds running around here. Gen Z are grandpa parents now? No, they're not. Stop it. That's not true. How would that even work? I think the internet generation seems to maybe the internet generation seems too broad since everything is spreads faster. Maybe. Also, maybe it's a me problem. Maybe I just assume that everybody who's older than me is just a millennial. Right? I just assume that everybody who's older than me is a millennial. Because I'm in the older range. I'm in the upper range of Gen Z. I'm not the oldest of Gen Z, but I'm like up there. And so if somebody's older than me, I'm just assuming that they're just a freaking millennial. Yeah, that's why you are a Zillennial. I'm not a Zillennial. I'm pure Zoomer. Articles still talk about millennials like we are teens. Yeah, and you're like freaking 40. How old is the oldest or the where's it at? How old are the oldest millennials? They're 44. That's quite young. Anyway.
Your content daily. You were one of my favorite content creators. I've purchased from Teddy Fresh. I loved the whole
Girl,
team.
why would you do that? You know what I mean? That's like being like, yeah, I used to take crack. Why? Why was it? I understand, like, you know, people make dumb decisions when they don't know better, but like, why was it ever something that ever crossed your mind? It never crossed my mind to buy Teddy Fresh. The same way it never crossed my mind to do crack.
It just felt like a community. I was a lot younger then. What shifted for me did occur post October 7th.
The person you had become, the nasty, disgusting, Giardia-infested manlet you'd become, was on full display to the entire human race.
Hassan, being an advocate for Palestine does not absolve you of criticism. Stop with the silliness.
Claiming that they are anti-Semitic. No, this does not. Because your criticisms are ridiculous. My point
I mean, that's kind of up to other people to decide at this point.
Your criticisms are in your own mind. Like, you have hallucinated an alternative
By the way, gaslighting, anti-Semitic trope, call that. This is what.
What does it change for you, chat? Just being a Zoomer versus being a Zillennial. You know, what changes? Does it make you feel like more wise? Does it make you feel like maybe you're just around a lot of millennial people?
Dog whistles are. You whistle to other people, and you have it's subtle enough that you have plausible deniability, so that when you get accused of being anti-Semitic, you can call the accuser crazy, which is exactly what you're doing. You are a fucking anti-Semite, and you've been caught out 3 different times, calling me crazy for very viable, very credible examples of anti-Semitism that you should at least be able to admit are at least not insane. Maybe a misunderstanding, but not insane. But no, according to you, they're all hallucinations. So go ahead and tell me why you're not dog whistling.
Yes, because people having an issue with your statements and with your coverage
on grew up on Drake and Josh Net Declassified. No, that's like that's normal, like Gen Z thing. Like, I also watched Drake and Josh and Nessie Classified. Right? Also, the cast of Nessie Classified are weird. Like, can we have that conversation? Why did they have a podcast like during COVID where they were talking about how they just kept having sex with each other on the set as kids? Why do we need to know that? They did what? I'm not joking. They had a podcast during COVID where they went on the podcast like, yeah, we just kept looking at each other on the set or after shoots. I'm like, I mean, the actress that played Mosley, she's chill. Isn't she a Trump supporter? Define chill. Like, yeah, it's just strange.
As a prominent content creator with a relatively progressive audience, your coverage has entirely focused on your own personal feelings.
Not entire.
And a lot of misplaced paranoia from people who are
there
criticizing
you. Go, dog whistle.
You literally think.
Can we get a whistle soundbite every time he comes?
Can Ethan not whistle? Isn't this man like a freaking 40-year-old millennial?
Paranoid or hallucinating?
Is anti-Semitism.
You got to whistle.
They kind of defend Dan Schneider too. Yes, they did also kind of defend Dan Schneider.
I used to like you. I don't know anymore. And I don't think it's because of anti-Semitism.
I definitely don't like you.
Anti-Semitism after doing a podcast.
Isn't there a song about whistling? Can you blow my whistle, baby? Wait, no, that's a song about blowjobs. Why do they call it whistle?
On business and say, I think you're a terrible person and a liar, and I don't like you at all.
I know.
No, if millennial goes up to 44, Ethan's also a millennial. I'm pretty sure. There's a Squeaks clip about that? About blowjobs? That makes sense, actually. That sounds like a Squeaks kind of thing.
Oh, I know.
Like, making a joke about blowjobs, not whatever. About the whistle song? Okay.
I still wish you well. I do. I wish you well, and I really do.
I wish everybody well. Everybody, be well.
And here's the truth you still refuse.
I don't think millennials pronounce Florida as Florida. I'm gonna be real.
To accept. None of this was random. None of it was coincidence. This spiral, this collapse, this crash out, it didn't just happen to you.
Okay, we've honestly stopped talking about the freaking we've stopped talking about this video and just started talking about random stuff.
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, I remember driving to school or like getting carpooled by my parents. And
How was your recommendations today? YouTube, you know. Okay, now I have to post this as well. You know exactly how my recommendations were today. That's so funny. Extremely good. Playlist for those who came in late. No, I don't want to push my luck with Twitch. You can see my clip though, which I had to censor, but I also posted on like freaking TikTok with the caption "Happy Juneteenth." Jeez Louise, I just sneezed. Anyway, let's finish this.
Listen to the song Lollipop. Do you guys know that song? Yeah. And I thought it was about candy.
Oh,
and little did I know it's about,
it's called
fornication.
It's called Candy Shop.
Sorry, Candy Shop. Lollipop. I was like, I like Lollipop. Like, I didn't realize it was,
I like anybody's lollipop.
Yeah, I didn't know it. Like, it sounds so anonymous.
It does. And then you think, and then the way she comes in and
Who went to UC Irvine here?
I start singing, you're like, this has got to be something to it.
Yeah,
but you
I
don't
didn't
know what
realize.
it means.
I'm so stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
No,
it's like when you're that age, we don't know those things, and things go over our head all the time.
Let me blow my whistle.
Do y'all feel that there's a little bit of streamer nepotism for the schools that they go to? There's something there. You know? There's something there.
Baby whistle, baby, let me know.
That's not about a whistle? He's blowing penis? Wait, are you serious? So you're telling me the song is let me blow that penis?
No, I think it's requesting a whistle blow. Can you blow
I'm
my
sorry.
whistle,
No,
baby?
who made the song?
Flo Rida?
No offense to Florida, but
I can't handle it.
but to ask someone to blow your whistle is like the least sexy way.
Yeah.
Will you
It's
blow?
a euphemism. See, Squeaks wouldn't get it. He wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand. It's like the song, like, don't drop that dun da dun. Like, it's a euphemism, you know what I mean? It's talking about booty. You feel me? Like gas pedal. You know? That's not a euphemism, but like, you know, it's like there's songs that are about sex, but like not about sex. Put It by Genuine is the same. Jump on it. Ride my pony. True. Or like Milkshake. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. There's a lot of songs about sex that are not about sex.
Oh, my whistle baby? Whistle baby? Let me know. That is horrifying. That's crazy. That is so negative aura. Let me tell you.
Body party. Yo, body on my body, baby. Wait, okay, that's not a euphemism. That's pretty,
That's terrible.
Oh, it hurts.
How do you know these songs weren't like for when they came out? I'm cultured. Excuse me. Tell me get lower than about a humid room. To be fair, it says to the window, to the wall, to the sweat drips down my balls. And then it goes into like skeet, 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 skeet. So like that was not as, you know, reserved, but it makes it pretty clear. Yeah, it's not as metaphorical. But yeah. How did we get here? What are we talking about? How did we get here? Oh, whistle. Oh, Ethan Klein can't whistle. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
To you. It was designed. The lawsuits, the rage, the content nuke, the public collapse, the debates, it all followed the path I set in motion. Not for clout, not for personal revenge, but as a reckoning. A reckoning for how you defended a genocidal state, for how you slandered Palestinians, socialists, and anyone who stood against you. For how you tried to turn every criticism into a personal attack, into a frivolous lawsuit because you have 100 million to your name, instead of facing the consequences of
you read a post from the ULFP about 50-51 being controlled opposition. Are you interested in interviewing an organizer from ULFP? I know that I can put you in contact. Did I? What post did I reference?
your actions. Ethan, you thought you were spiraling out of control, but I need you to understand something. The wheel never left my hands. The crash out is complete, and the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Oh, it was this post. Okay. I mean, if you want. I have to see if I have time in my schedule for doing so. But if they have more information about the 50-51 people, that would be clever if they were just using up their oldest stuff first. Honestly, I'm not even in this video. I feel disrespected. Wrong chat. I was confused. I was like, yeah. That's the Ethan Klein video. That took up the entire day. Jeez Louise. I feel like we have some other good moments in this. Like this video. Crazy. So yeah, I'll leave with this, chat. Let your Juneteenth homework be the following. Number 1, watch one of my videos. I would recommend either the commodification video if you have some time, the AVE video, the respectability video, probably one of those. Already seen all of these? Well, then I don't know what to tell you. And if you're not follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. And subscribe to a black streamer today. Right? Check if you have a subscription available. And if you do, subscribe to a black streamer today. If it's not me, if you're already subscribed to me, You use your Prime on me. You have $6 to spare. Find a black streamer. Send them a little sub. Send them a couple bits. You know. FD isn't live, so I mean, if you want to go subscribe offline, you can do that as well. But just find a black streamer. Follow a black streamer if you don't have any money. And yeah. Cinna? I also don't think Cinna is live. So also Cinna doesn't need your subscriptions, but if you want to, you know. NP live. What is going on with Nick recently? Have y'all seen Nick's freaking Twitter? What is happening? I feel like every post from Nick is a rage bait. It's sad. Kick happened? I feel like this is happening before Kick. I don't know. Did I cover every? Oh, okay. Before I go, I want to get down a somewhat of a plan for the 30-hour stream. I'm thinking we go live. It's racist that White About It didn't have you on an episode today. Who knows? Maybe it will come out later. You don't know, chat. You know, Blade is awake. Oh, and Marvel Rivals. He's a different person to post. Melina, he's farming parasocial now. Farming rage bait. Yep. Oh, do you think Marvel Rivals gonna release Blade for Juneteenth? That would be sick. W. QPC isn't sparking zero? Definitely not. I finally took the plunge and uninstalled it. It was taking up too much space on my computer. I needed to make room for Jedi Survivor. What else? Oh, 50-hour stream. Sorry, not 50-hour stream. That was stupid. 30-hour stream. That's like a day in 6 hours, so that's not bad. So if I go live at my normal time on Saturday morning, I can go live into Sunday morning and then 6 hours into Sunday morning. So I'll end at like 11 o'clock on Sunday. Can you play Jedi Survivor then? Probably not, because I would have finished the game by then. It's not 50 hours. It's not happening. We'll probably do something with Path. Do something with Gremlo, if Gremlo's down to do something. Hit up Nandre, see if Nandre wants to play some games. Maybe Elden Ring with Nandre would be fun. What else? Night Rain with FD. Again, I don't think FD has Night Rain. Math. Maybe we'll play some math games as well. I have a clip of you saying you'll reach out to Ludwig for an AAV or tier list. I will DM Ludwig. He's not going to respond, so don't get your hopes up. But I promised that I would DM him because I think it'd be funny. Even if he doesn't respond, right? That would be content. Friend slop is crazy. Go through Cutie. You think I have an in with Cutie? Also, no, that's also strange. I wouldn't put Cutie in that position. I'm not gonna be like, hey, Cutie, link me up with your boyfriend to like do content with me. Like, honestly, I'd rather do content with Cutie than Ludwig, if you're being entirely real about it. Make your DM funny so you can use it for a thumbnail. Even if it's not funny, I can just make fake the DM. What else is there? I have to make. Did I say I'll make a? Was it a pizza? Or was it a cake? I said I was gonna make something for 30K. Whatever it's funnier, it was pizza. Because I need to get ingredients for a pizza. Why not both? Because I have to get ingredients for both. I'm sorry, y'all don't give me enough money. You get one or the other. Also, I don't have a stand mixer here either. Wait, so I have to make the. I have to either mix the pizza batter by hand or need the pizza batter, the cake batter by hand, or need the pizza by hand because I don't have a stand mixer.
I was about to go get the Henny.
Can't mix cake batter. Yeah, but I guess I could. I don't have anything. Scribble and double think over the 5 gifted subs. I'm still not doing both. For Juneteenth, what is this? Oh yeah, I think I saw this. I scrolled past this.
Dear Iran, peace and blessings be unto y'all, my brothers and sisters. I'm saying though, what the fuck going on, twin? I seen you over there dropping missiles on Israel, and I was like, damn, them folks standing on business. But then you tweeted, everybody gonna feel this. I was like, whoa, like, shout what you even talking about? I know how it be when a nigga ass be in that mode, you would give it to anybody that get in your way. Just remember, fam, black folks in America don't run shit or call no shots. When we be invading nigga country and starting wars and shit, that don't be black folk. Shit, we just go so they'll pay for our college and get a nigga a little Charger or a Camaro. Hell, I ain't getting that one. I got an Impala LTZ. I'm just saying, fam, if anybody understand being fed up with the whole world fucking with you, it's us. We can't just be letting y'all talk crazy to a nigga and threaten us shit. Could work come to work, you know, we'll step on y'all nigga like Dan's revolution shot. We ain't even on our. Dear Iran, peace and blessings be unto.
It's funny because like the video starts with being like, listen, we don't want no beef, but like, and we don't subscribe to what America's doing for us, but like, we will if we need to. I'm like, whoa, you had me until there. You know what I mean? You had me until there. You can't be like, yeah, we're not. This isn't us, right? This is not us. We don't want the beef. We just leave us out of this. But like, it will be us, you know, if I need to. I'm like, that also that statement though kind of justifies them coming at us because you said that if you need to, you're gonna be with them anyway. If I need to step in, I will. Yeah. I'm like, no, I won't. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you. I'm standing on business, is it? Yeah. I will say it is a tad bit funny to be like, you know, not saying this person's a black liberal, but to be like a black liberal and be like, whoa, I'm not involved with them, but also I'm America through and through, you know? I'm like would this sentiment still apply if like Kamala Harris was in office? Which is why I think black people need to do better to like, you know, gatekeep blackness from people who then use their racial dynamics to then get status in this country in the first place. Because I'm like, Kamala Harris don't speak for us. Like, y'all can have her too. I don't know. Like, leave me out of this and keep her. Right? Because like, she was totally fine taking that position or going to that position. And, you know, I don't know if she would have acted too differently. But it was a funny bit, regardless. Obama's done irreparable damage in this vein. Yeah. Like, it's very hard to tell the international spaces that black folks don't got nothing to do with this when, you know, you had Obama also bombing their communities as well. Right? No, it's still true that like black people as a generality have no say. Right? And when a black person does get to that position, they are not operating at the behest of the black community. That's still true. Don't get me wrong. That's 100% correct. Right? But like, it's hard to make that argument when you do got black faces in high places that are busting things up. Which is why we had to stand against those black faces in those places. So yeah. Anyway, happy Juneteenth, y'all.
Let your man go, huh?
Drop it, I don't want to talk about it.
Drop it, hell. I want to hear about this, homie.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Let your man.
I said forget about it, cuz. It's so good.
And go, huh?
You know what?
Drop.
Also, your Juneteenth homework, watch this movie. It's a good movie. I like Too Fast, Too Furious more than The Fast and the Furious. Or just, it's not The Fast and the Furious. It's just Fast and Furious. Yeah. It's so good. I think it's my favorite movie in the entire series.
Drop it, I don't want to talk about it.
Drop it, hell. I want to hear about this, homie.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, thanks for watching, chat. Thanks for watching. Any final thoughts? Also, goodbye, YouTube chat. Thanks for being here. But I'm out. Adios.